Hi everyone, it's Super Sunday and welcome to episode 49 of the APAT show. Tonight, Lee and I are joined by Carey Hollick and Tom Banks, who will be critiquing your squads and roller play, in addition to telling us a lot more about themselves and how they got into poker. Okay, we'll be back with you right after this. Lee, what a spectacular picture of Tom and Carey. They look like a proper APAT power couple. What do you think?
Don't they just? Yeah. A great bit of photoshopping, to say the least, Des. Yeah, absolutely superb. Well, this is the show that everyone's been waiting for, because a little while back we had Colin McCarthy and Stuart Pillinger on from the A team, and we've now got the second half of the A team on. This time, though, of course, we've got the looks and the brains on the show. Yeah. So a warm welcome to Carey and Tom.
So Carey and I are trying to work out who's who when you
Yeah, Carey's not too happy with that one, Tom. I can tell you straight away. We can easily identify where the looks and the brains are, right? You've both got a bit of each. How about that?
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take that. 50.
Yeah, 50-50. I think we'll take that. So, guys, how has your Sunday been? It's really nice of you to come and join us for the evening. What's it been like up to this? Got up to anything nice? Carey, you first.
I've been playing poker all day, trying to get into tournaments.
All day.
And I'm not running very good.
Oh, no.
I'm still in the WPT micro right now.
Okay, well, we're going to find out a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes. How about you, Tom? How's your Sunday been?
Well, it's our sixth wedding anniversary, not mine and Carey's, me and my wife. Our sixth anniversary tomorrow. And so we went out for a nice meal in a local restaurant we haven't been to for a while.
That's lovely.
Reopened.
Well,
social distancing.
Listen, a little congratulations in advance from everyone at APAT, I'm sure, Tom. And can I just reassure your wife that is a nifty bit of photoshopping as opposed to a picture of you two at some sort of, weird and wacky event away?
She's gone to bed, I'm sure she's
Fantastic. Okay, well, listen, let's take a look at the chat box. Let's see who we've got in there. So I can see Don Logan has joined us, Suzanne Gleason, Glenn Whitehead, Dan Austin is there, Shug is there, Shug Kearney. We've got Tony Hatfield, Asa McGrath is there, of course, and Gunther Surings, who I think might be on your table, Tom, because you're still playing in squads, which allows me to throw back to Lee, because this is the way we work, right? Lee, what events are we going to be looking at tonight?
Well, it's a Sunday night. It's the usual thing. We've got conclusion of the Sunday roller. We'll keep an eye on that. They've just got into the money. There's 5 players left there. We see James Locke is chip leader in that. Phil Coles is still in there as well. This is the new $33 price point for this, and it's still $417 up top for first place. So very nice for them. But obviously, it's the culmination of the squads on a Sunday. It's a Sunday deep stack, 89 runners in that. We're down to 32 at the moment, and we're paying the top 12. Very much it's Purple Ackies versus Celtic Storm for who's going to take down the title this week. And they've all been chasing Dan Austin for the MVP, although Vince has been trying to take credit for it for most of the week. But,
I'd expect no different. Celtic Storm, are they going for 3 in a row?
No, because Purple Ackies beat them to it last week. So I think.
We didn't have the show. We didn't have the show last week. Of course.
Purple Ackies are going for 2 on the bounce now.
Okay.
But Carey and Tom's team, the A team, were in 3rd place at the start of play. They've got a little bit of a gap. Probably too much of a gap, I think, to the top 2. Yeah. But you never know. Stranger things have happened on a Sunday. So we'll keep you posted as we get closer to the money.
No, brilliant. Thank you, Lee. So, Carey, you've been playing, but you're out of squads, as I understand it. Just talk us through your exit. Tough one?
Cody was, I don't know. Cody raised, like min raised or something, and I called with ace 8 suited, and it flopped an 8, and he checked, I think, and I bet, and he called, and then it turned an ace, and I'm like, and I bet, and he re-raised, and I shoved, and it just ended up all in, and he had a set of 4s, and that's how it went out. But he's got lots of chips now, so I helped him.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible though. So you had top two pair against a set of 4s. Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it? Really,
That's the game.
You think you're hoping you're up against an ace king or an
Like
ace
ace
queen
queen
there,
or ace king, exactly.
or even kings or queens or jacks or something like that, aren't you? You're thinking, you're beating so much of him, and he's got a just a little pair of 4s. I mean, what's he even doing playing 4s? I mean, Cody. Should be ashamed of yourself.
That's a great hand. 4s, that's a great hand.
What am I doing with ace rag,
Oh my God. Have you seen this hand that's happening on Tom's table? It's Ericsson. I'm not sure who Ericsson is, but it's just with his queens, hit a third queen on the river to beat Jeff Talbot's aces. So
Ericsson Alcantara. He's from Brazil.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's we are truly international, and
he's a regular.
Yeah, well, he probably is. Gunther is in the chat box, guys. I'm afraid we did balk him, and he was involved in a pretty spectacular hand again on Tom's table. He held queens, found himself up against aces and 9s. The aces tripped up on the flop, and Gunther has now sort of said, "Hello, everyone. Yep, just busted." So sorry about that, Gunther. By mentioning you, we took you out. That's the way we roll. But you know that now. And Tom, for you, it's just a matter of time. A matter of time. Oh, absolutely.
Hang tight, Tom.
So you're actually in.
I was on Messenger about 9:45, and I started seeing it saying, Carey's tight. I thought she's going to tell me she's bust, and literally that was what the message was, to say I've just bust squads. So yeah, it's the curse of the show.
So Tom, what's your main aim tonight? Can you guys get up into second? Do you have any chance of competing for the title?
Just to try and consolidate third. I think that would be the highest that we've been, certainly since Carey and I joined the team. We've been 4th, I think, 5th, maybe. Third's the highest we've had. So, yeah, I'm going to hold my hand up. The guys that consistently play well and are in the points, high points every week, it's going to be tough to break into the top 2. And there's sort of 4 or 5 teams really that can make the top 2 any one week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not always the same 2 teams.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're used to dramatic finishes to the squads in this show every Sunday night, whether it's the MVP or the teams. But it does seem like the Celtic Storm and the Purple Ackies, over the last 3-4 weeks in particular, they seem to be rocking and rolling. Would that be fair to say, Lee?
Yeah, pretty much. They've certainly been dominating, and they've got a stack load of $33 tokens on their way to their accounts, ready for next weekend. So yeah, it's been those 2 teams, but there are others can do it. You've just got to say it's having a little bit of consistency and hitting at the right time, and you tend to find 1 or 2 from the team will just absolutely be on a heater for the week, and that can make all the difference for your team.
Yeah. So,
and if those guys don't have a heater, someone else in the team does. So it's
that's the trouble. And the scary thing with the likes of Purple Ackies, I mean, we've had Andy on the show, we've had Steve on the show. They rotate, so they've got I think there's 5 or 6 of them, and basically whoever is the worst whoever's worst in their team for the week, even if they win it, gets dropped.
Yeah, they're absolutely brutal. They're brutal.
You could be in a winning team, and if you're the worst of the 4 in that week, they drop you for the following week.
They're brutal, I have to say, and that's the way it should be. So listen, guys, I mean, the numbers are going to naturally fall off as we. I'd love to say come out of lockdown, but we're in such a strange place. How have you guys found that whole sort of 4 or 5 months? Crikey, it's gone so quickly. Period of lockdown. Has it impacted? Carey, are you still in the sort of medical world?
No, I went. Just graduated with my BA honors in social work.
Oh, okay, nice.
I was writing the last 4 or 5 months. I was writing my dissertation, 2 other 4,000-word essays, my portfolio. So that's what I was doing. So it was kind of it was kind of nice for me because I could stay home and focus on that. And yeah, I had to finish my placement a little early because I couldn't they canceled our placement but they made it less days because you're supposed to do like 200 days and.
Yeah, it's been a period of dramatic change, it has to be said, as far as, processes for things like internships and what have you. But, very well done on getting through with your degree and stuff. That's great news. How about you, Tom?
Yeah.
Has it impacted on your day-to-day sort of workings, as it were?
Yeah, our work closed down sort of the second week in March, and they were desperate to get back. So the company, we're doing a little bit, I'm an IT consultant, doing a bit of work with Balfour Beatty.
Oh, yeah.
So they were very sort of eager to get back in play. So they really went to town, prepared the working area to make sure that social distancing could be kept. And sorry, guys, I've just got.
I say that Kings against Sixers, and he's in a 6.
Oh no!
No!
Oh
my
God!
No!
Unlucky Tom. Unlucky Tom.
Still got chips though. Still got plenty of chips.
Well, I've still got an amount. Well, back on the horse. Anyway, yeah. So we got back quite early. 27th of April, we returned to work.
Wow.
On a half of us on site, so we didn't bump into each other. Strict 2-meter rules, and hand cleanser everywhere you went.
Yeah.
But we did. We came back to find that one of the contractors who'd worked earlier on in the project in November, he had passed away, COVID. 46, no underlying health issues. So it just goes to show, it's a lottery.
Oh, it's a bit unpredictable, isn't it? It's a bit unpredictable. Yeah.
And the people that say it's not real, that really annoys me because I just saw in a stream tonight. Because I watched Jamie Staples' stream and someone was in there like saying, "Oh, it's not real." I'm like, "Oh, it's just ridiculous." People think that.
Yeah, it is real. I mean, I guess the thing that really hurts there is 46, which is certainly under the age of massive threat and no underlying health conditions. So, crikey, that does suggest that anybody, it's almost like it might be a needle in a haystack in terms of how badly you might get it, but you don't necessarily have to look a certain way or be a certain age or anything to get this thing. That's the unknown, and we're starting to see some spikes around Europe, aren't we? Yeah, we're not sure what. I'm meant to be going to Greece next month, and I think for a sort of an event that I'm just going to have to go, and they're starting to spike over there. I'm not feeling massively comfortable about it, I have to say, but I don't know what the answer is, guys.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I've got a problem sort of nearer to home in that my daughter's partner is he believes it's a hoax, and I'm trying to explain to him, I know of 5 people personally that have gone to this disease. One of them lives 800 yards from his house, and I've recently become a grandfather, so I'm kind of like trying to get the message across to him in as diplomatic a way as possible. But
it's really difficult, Tom, isn't it? Because, I as I've said on this show quite a few times, I like to, settle in for an hour of CNN every evening. It's like my relaxation. Yeah, it's car crash TV, right? And, if you're to listen to the president of the US, it is a hoax. It's a hoax.
You know what?
It's crazy.
I can't wait until November. I can't wait to vote. Just saying.
Now you think you're going to get a mail-in vote, Carey? That's not happening. You're not getting that. Well, can't have that.
I've been told I can do my absentee ballot and I can do a write-in vote. So whichever one gets there, they'll count. That's what
Amen.
I've been told.
They'll count 2 of them, I hope.
No.
It's the first lady in the firing line today because of she's decimated Jackie Kennedy, her garden at the White House. So I don't know if you've seen that story.
No.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah, she's basically there was sort of some apple trees that were planted by presidents going back so 50, 60, 70 years. She's cut them all down. She's got rid of all the flowers.
Oh shit!
It looks awful. Check it out on the news feeds. And so she's getting a real
Why are they allowed
battering.
to do that? Oh.
She's the first lady. She thinks it's her house. She can do what she wants.
Wow,
It's our house. It's not their house.
Such a strange situation. Yeah,
everyone's up in arms.
Oh yeah, I can well imagine. I think the next 2 or 3 months there in the States are going to be crazy because Trump fights very, very dirty, doesn't he? I mean, he he has no limits. He has no barriers. And the question would have to be, is Biden up for that sort of fight? He may try and, remain on high ground and steer clear of that, which I suppose would be well advised, but it's not going to win him votes from Trump's side, one would have thought. But it does seem like Kamala Harris, she seems to be quite gutsy, and she may be quite a good sidekick to have, I would have thought, through this next 3 months.
Yeah, Kamala is really cool, and I just watched the whole Democratic convention, so yeah, I learned a lot about them. So
no, absolutely,
yeah, good.
Absolutely. Yeah. One other thing, and Lee, you might have an opinion on this, that I learned about lockdown, is that some 40 to 50%, maybe even higher, of people who were furloughed were actually beavering away for their companies at home. Had you heard that line?
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
In some way or another. I mean, to be fair, it's not going to be a case of they're working 100%, but I would be gobsmacked if that it isn't around that sort of number of people that did so, because the rules were you were supposed to do nothing.
Yeah,
not even
answer
emails or anything. You were supposed to be doing absolutely nothing. But the reality of it is, if you're set up at home and there's emails going back and forth, or you're in group chats, or you're in this or you're in that, the reality of it is people are going to look into that. I mean, interestingly, the HMRC are starting to go back, and they've been using the time to start analysing who's claimed what, where, and how. And I've heard of a number of stories with people that have put in for their second self-employed grant in the last week or so that have been contacted to say they actually, they've now realised they calculated their first one wrong, and so they're now adjusting this and adjusting that. So. Yeah, the reality is the rules are there, and obviously, but people are going to take advantage of those. It's the same as the things like the bounce back loans that companies were able to take. I think there'll be a huge number of those that will end up getting closure on at some point down the line.
What do you mean, like being reclaimed?
Oh yeah, either being reclaimed because the companies never actually had the turnover in the first place to make the claim, or reality that actually a number of those businesses may actually go bust anyway, in which case they just would have taken the money and then paid themselves for 6 months and then go bust anyway, because naturally that was what was going to happen. But we'll see. It's all going to unravel in a period of time. So
I've got a little sideline myself, and I claimed online knowing full well I wouldn't qualify. It's all instantaneous whether you get it or not. And also, the first thing you say is, do you have any other income coming in? As soon as you tick that box, that's it. There's no way you're going to get any repayments. But a lot of guys I know who are doing full time what I do sort of as a sideline. They've had the payments. I think it's the third 3 month period that they're going to be paid up to £2,500 a month. So it's keeping them afloat.
I know plenty of people that were self-employed and were back to work after maybe a month, because the job that they were doing they could do outdoors and could do this, so that in a particular trade that they're in. And I know every one of them claimed as well. And it's very difficult to be able to prove one way or the other with it then, because the question that you get asked from the self-employed point of view is it's actually, has your revenue been, or your income been negatively affected by COVID, or have your costs negatively, have increased due to COVID? And basically, you don't need to justify it any more than that. If you can answer yes to that, you don't need to quantify it. You don't need to give a figure or anything like that. If the answer is yes, then you basically put a claim in.
Well, for my business, my financial year starts the 1st of March. So I'm a DJ. I do. I'm resident DJ at a Hilton hotel.
Cool.
And I did a disco on the 1st of March.
Yeah.
And I haven't done one since. So the money I'll get, the disco, obviously, it's got, I've got storage, I've got insurance, I've got other stuff, expenses going on. So I predict next year, I don't know how long I'm going to be off for, whether if it affects the Christmas period, which is obviously busy. Next year's sort of accounts will show a dramatic loss, and I can offset that against my personal tax. So that's how I'll get some money back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we're seeing. I've people that know on the show, I've mentioned about the quiz business that I'm involved with a friend of mine, and we're back in 2 pubs at the moment, out of I think 12 that we had before lockdown. But we're starting to see pubs started to do things, and my brother works in the hotel industry, and he says they're slowly but surely starting to turn on. Hotels do good business at Christmas time, but they're struggling to see how people are going to want to go and have a kind of a works Christmas do at a hotel come Christmas.
The atmosphere. People laid off as well.
Yep.
Well, I had our hotel has had a lot of people laid off, so it's not going to be the same when we go back there. It's going to be sad.
Yeah, the hotel industry, it's just been absolutely decimated, because although they're now open effectively for bed and breakfast is pretty much it, or it was when they first started about a month ago. Obviously, a lot of the big chains make their money from events. That's that's where they make their money. They don't make a huge amount of money from the rooms and that kind of thing on a nightly basis. It's a tough one, a tough industry to be in at the moment, unfortunately.
On the plus side, a lot of the weddings that have been have been cancelled. They'll be rearranging for the following year. So we've got about 20 so far that have been rearranged. So that business has not gone completely. Yeah. I think it was only 3 dates that I had already had booked out. So not too bad.
Oh,
so what's your go-to floor filler track then, Tom? If you what's...
Here we go. Let's do it, guys. Here's the set list.
Well, it used to be Blurred Lines until one night a girl accused me of playing the rape song.
Oh, crikey. Oh, wow.
So I stopped playing that. It had to be sort of the Pharrell one, Uptown Funk. Just a great tune. Ed Sheeran used to be, but I think the guy's losing his his crown. A lot of people are a bit just tired of Ed Sheeran at the moment. So be interesting. It's half the songs because of the shutdown. I don't even know half the songs that have been out.
Probably new music.
Do you have to keep up? Do you keep up with your music? Yeah. Are you constantly buying stuff, or do you tend to Spotify or whatever these days? Or
No, I've got a program I use. I get a subscription to a DJ service. So they send me tracks every month, around about 200 tracks. But I say 200. They'll have 5 remixes of the one tune. They have the original radio edit and then 5 remixes of it. And also, I don't know if you've heard the lyrics to this new one out by Carey B called WAP. Don't ask me what WAP stands for. Look it up.
So, Tom, what does WAP stand for?
I've heard Tracy.
Racy?
I don't know. I haven't heard the song, so that's why I know.
Look up the lyrics. Makes Deep Throat look like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Yeah, it's a different language to me, I have to say.
And this is who? This is Cardi B. Cardi B.
And there's
any?
No idea.
No, me neither.
No idea.
I'm feeling very old at the moment.
If the band is not an 80s band, right, I probably don't recognize it. 80s, 70s, 60s, I've almost certainly heard and seen them in some shape or form. 90s maybe a bit, but I don't like it so much. Anything into the 2000s and beyond, I'm not even sure I'll have heard of it.
to be fair, they have sent me a radio edit of the song, but I played it and it just sounds like Morse code.
Nice. Maybe it's got a secret message,
literally is
Beatles
just-
style.
yeah.
Play it backwards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No, I
okay,
just
it's-
can't
it's-
keep up with music today. It's there's too much. It's too much, and it's too wide. It's just yeah.
I have a 16-year-old stepdaughter, and you know, all the stuff I hate is the stuff she loves, and I'm like, ah. So I know if I take her anywhere in the car, I got my music on. She puts her headphones on, and
Well, you're going to be tapping into her as insight and a resource. She's like your customer market research panel right there, right, in terms of what's happening and what's in and what's big and what's coming. And
you say that, but because of this monthly thing that I'm getting all the bang up to date songs.
wow.
So I get a song from Chris Brown or Usher,
Okay.
which are two of her favorites. I get it first.
Oh, you're getting like previews and
She absolutely hates that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then she'll play me a song. Have you heard this one? I said, well, yeah, I got that through promo 6 months ago. And she goes absolutely berserk.
Oh, you've
So
got you've probably got quite a collectible.
I was going to say,
collection
you
there.
obviously just make that last as long as possible with just, oh, have you heard this one? Have you heard this one? Just
Yeah.
So
keep building.
who's your average audience then? I mean, so you're typically in hotels, is that right, Tom?
Yeah, so Hilton.
So in the Hilton in particular,
Double Tree
this
by Hilton.
local one. So who comes into discos in
So
the
you
Hilton?
get local people having celebrations,
Yeah.
birthdays, weddings. Do a lot of weddings at the hotel. We're on the Masonic Lodge circuit, so I
Sweet.
get some. So that's round
They
about
were like
October
capes
time.
and everything, and
I was going to say, shout
not
out
quite,
to
not
the
quite.
dirty sex. I mean, what goes on in there? I don't know.
Some are quite young, actually. I did have one before. Do you remember before the smoking ban? We had a lodge come down from the Birmingham area, and they were all Indian. And they had dinner. They had the toast to the Queen. Hang on, guys. I've just gone all in.
Oh, Tom's all in, guys. It's all happening.
Tom. Come on, Tom.
Yeah, you can't stop now, Tom.
You're gonna get called by the big stack. Surely you're getting
I'm going
called
to
by
get
the big
called
stack.
by
here.
1.2 million
Oh,
stacks.
that's the guy.
I was
that
going to
kept
say,
rearranging
surely
every
you're getting
hand.
called by the big
Oh
stack.
my gosh, he's aggressive.
Oh,
And
you're
he
in good
has with
shape.
Queen 3. Oh.
Come on.
Here it
come on,
comes.
Come on. Come on.
Nothing personal, Radek. We're not anti
Yeah,
you, my
sorry
friend.
about that.
Our guest was all in.
So they were down from Birmingham area. They were all Indian in the main. I guess 90% of them were Indian, and they had the toast, the meal. They had the toast to the Queen, and then it was, gentlemen, you may now smoke. And they all got out these cigars,
Oh, big ones.
and
I
they
bet.
started puffing away because set the smoke alarms off. We all ended up outside.
Oh
I didn't
no.
think there were allowed to smoke inside. Not even
Oh,
cigars.
this is a good while
Oh, before the
ago.
smoking. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
So do a lot of the Masonic Lodge dues round about October time, and in the summer I do a lot of prom nights.
Wow,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
just such a wide audience.
It is. It's
You must have
really
lots
is
of
quite
music.
broad. But I tell you what, I would do prom nights every night of the year. All they want to do is come and dance. A lot of them don't bother with the food. I get told off by the teachers if I play sort of too much upbeat music while they're meant to be eating, because they'd rather dance than sit down.
Yeah.
And the hotel don't like it because they can't serve the food till someone's sat in the chair, and it's kind of, and they're all coming up and go, oh, can you put on this, can you put on that? But they're great fun, great audience, and they love all the favorites. I mean, if I put Macarena on, followed by the Cha-Cha Slide, followed by Saturday Night by Wigfield, they know all those songs. It's great. I would do them all year round. From a point of view of the dance.
How many bookings do you have in a year, would you say then, Tom? Is it something you're doing 2 or 3 times a week, or is it once a week sort of thing?
It's kind of seasonal. So February, March, and April can be quite quiet. Maybe 2 or 3. But in the summer months with weddings, I'm out pretty much most Fridays, most Saturdays, and the odd Sunday wedding or even midweek wedding.
Oh wow, okay.
So it could be 3 or 4 times a week.
And are you doing a full setup with like lighting and all that and all everything,
Yeah.
or you just
Whole
wow.
thing. But I guess that's the
Love it.
that's the beautiful thing about doing a lot of gigs in one location. I guess you can have all of that stuff there and in storage and in out and what have you.
that's dependent on the management at the time. The previous management did let me store some stuff there, and then another one said, no, you've got to keep it out. So I've got a storage place, but it's, I've got a system now. I keep it as light as possible.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any older.
Yeah.
I've had
You
both
are
my
getting older.
I
Listen,
am. Yeah,
listen,
so,
guys, I've just,
You're not getting any
I'd
older.
say it.
I've just
You're
got,
saying-
I've got an
you're saying
idea
that,
here. What about for the 50th show? We have the APAT disco. Have you done this online, Tom?
I've tried. It's more difficult than Facebook
licensing,
shut you
right?
down. Yeah, Facebook shut you down. YouTube shut you down. People have been doing it on
copyright.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Getting on the sort
They
of
shut you down now too.
Yeah, are they shutting the music down on Twitch? Really?
Yeah. Twitch have
yeah.
started to Twitch have started actually having a go at the poker players that tend to have music playing in the background.
Okay.
Yeah, so they a number of them have been saying they've had a slap on the wrist or a warning. So yeah, it's
Do you
difficult.
guys- I don't know. Do you ever remember? There was an application, an online application. It's called Pal Talk
No.
Yeah.
or
That's
Fire
how
Talk.
Yeah, Pal Talk is how I met my husband.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
What?
There you go. I did not know that.
Carry on.
Well, I used to have a room in there, and you'd have
Yeah.
a couple hundred in there. It was mainly 80s, and
Yeah.
that was quite good back in the day. And I had a good system set up with a computer. And
Oh, brilliant. So like chat rooms.
it was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
It was yes, it was a chat program, and there was all kinds of different rooms in there. So yes.
Cool.
With, like,
And-
quiz rooms, music
That
rooms,
sounds interesting.
etc.
No.
etc.
Carey mentions meeting her husband. There was a lot of couples in the room
There was like
that
yeah,
used to hook
there
up
was,
and get. A couple got married.
yeah. So I met him in 2002, and I did see his face on a webcam. Yes, it was his face, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's so cute. I have to talk to him. So I started typing to him, and I found out he's from England. I went, oh, great, because the person I'd been talking to online before him was from England, and I actually came to meet him in England.
Oh, this is
And we just
amazing.
ended
Carry on.
We just ended up being friends. But then I met my husband that I have now on Pal Talk like May the same year, because I had gone to England in January to Worcester, and then my husband's from Essex, and then like 2 months after I met him on Pal Talk, I actually went to England again to meet him in person, and then we've been together 17 years next year.
Wow. How long did it take for you from when you first physically met him to move into England full time? Did you have to have a distance relationship for a while, or how did that work?
Yeah. He moved to America
Oh,
on a
okay.
fiance visa, but it took so I went to visit him. He came to visit me once in Michigan. Then at the end of that, I think that was in December of 2002, he asked me to marry him. And then we did a fiance visa application, and I keep having to change the date of when we were going to get married because it kept taking longer and longer for the visa application to go through. So
Wow.
You have a
He
DJ
came to
book, they would
America.
love that, changing the date,
he came to America in September
Where did you say
of
he was from, Carey?
2003.
Where
I'm
did you
from
say he was
Michigan.
He's from Essex.
He's from Whittam in Essex.
Ah,
So
Because Worcester,
yes.
you mentioned Worcester. Worcester's just up the road. from
Worcester
you.
was the other person I met
Ah, okay.
before my husband. So then
I don't talk about him.
yeah, then my husband came to Michigan first. He was there for a couple years. We had a couple kids together. We have like 9 kids all together. But anyway,
Wow.
so,
Brady Bunch
I know.
plus.
I know. And then so by the time like 2 years, he's not allowed to work because you have to get a green card. After 2 years, he gets his green card, gets his first job, and then I go, can we move to England? So we went through the immigration process again to come to England on a marriage license or visa. So yeah, we came here in 2006.
I'll tell you what, he had to be happy to get away from those Michigan winters, though, surely.
No, he loved the snow. I was the
What?
one that was happy to get away from it.
Bloody hell, it's freezing over there.
Were you
Yeah,
born and
Michigan it
were you
is.
born and bred in Michigan? Yeah, or was that always been home? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Michigan was always home. Yeah. But yeah, that's my story of meeting my husband.
Wow, that's cool. And you guys are still together, what, 17 years on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, amazing. Congrats. Well done.
I had
Yeah.
a guy, a friend of mine I worked with, he met his wife on, do you remember the old Friends Reunited site?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that site. Yeah.
They started up a dating element to it. And he met her, and she was in New Zealand. And so he went over there. They got on well. He's 6'5", she's 6'1". They got on very well.
Wow.
There you go.
He came back to the UK, hopeful. She came over to the UK, met his family. Went down really well. So he decided, I'll emigrate to New Zealand. Went over. They got married on a cliff top. They're now divorced. But
Most of my friends are divorced that we went through the applications with.
he got a citizenship, so he just stayed there. He was loving it.
It's a win. It's a win-win. He did okay. I was talking to my son today, and we were talking about video games, and we were talking about 10, 15 plus years ago, we'd get like a cover disc off of a computer magazine, and you'd sit down and you'd play some demo games and stuff like that. People don't do that today. I mean, hell, the magazines don't really exist. Never mind demo games, as it were. Everything's online. So we were sort of pondering and thinking about, well, what does the future hold? Because the quality of games are so good today. They're so immersive.
Have you heard about this new film called High Score?
Is this the thing that's showing on Netflix?
Yes.
Well,
yes,
I watched the first episode last night. Found it really interesting. It was set sort of back, 20, 30, 40 years ago when Space Invaders and Pac-Man were.
I'm all in.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Tell us what you've got. Tell us what you've got, Tom.
Radic again.
Oh, it's
it. Kings versus Ace Jack.
Stay.
Just wait.
No.
Just wait. Here it
hold.
comes. Oh!
Oh no, I lost.
We got some good luck. Talking about games. Have you guys heard of RuneScape?
Yes.
Okay, so my husband, he was an alpha and beta tester of that game, and his name
Wow.
was Merlin on it.
Okay.
He was Merlin on it, and he actually knew the owners. And
Oh, that's
he was, like,
amazing.
the third person on that site.
Well, my son used to play RuneScape a lot. That was one of the games that he used to play. And we were sort of pondering, in 10, 20 years' time, games are all going to be VR. You're going to walk into the game. It's going to be like Ready Player One, whereby
I
you're
love
there
that
and you'll
movie.
meet people there. Great movie, great book. And that, that'll complete that circle of, you meet a partner online and then you meet them in person and you get married or whatever. All of that stuff could happen online going forward at some point in future.
In a game.
In a game.
That's how a friend of mine met her husband in World of Warcraft. So.
Wow.
A girl I went to school with, her son is a gamer, and he's sponsored by a company. So when they wanted things to try out, they get him in, and he's making quite a bit of money. I don't know how much.
Yeah, I bet.
But he's making a career out of it. So fair play.
Well,
to them,
esports is quite the thing now. I mean, it's enormous.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Wolverhampton Wanderers supporter, and about 2 years ago, we sponsored this young lad from Brazil, and he was from the Wolves esports team, and he went and won the World Championship.
Wow.
And I don't know if you saw during lockdown.
Yeah, the FIFA games,
they
right?
had and one of our players, Diego Jota.
Yeah, he beat Trent.
Alexander.
He did, in the final. That's right.
Arnold, yeah.
No, I mean,
Jamie,
esports
quads.
are huge.
Quads for
absolutely
Jamie
huge.
Edgehill there. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a good hand.
And
Radic
it
is
was hidden as
unfortunately Radic is just unfortunately bleeding chips to everybody else at the moment here, but not a huge amount he can do about it.
Really
but I'm not sure this is a tilt thing or not. I can't work what it is with 10-8 clearly.
he's
But
all
he's
in
hit
now.
his
I'll be
eight.
honest, I had 8-8
hit
that
his
hand,
eight.
and I folded it.
Oh,
Dear, oh dear.
what?
Not this hand, the one before.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't see that one.
Wow, that was a messy finish there at the end. Radic just got there.
We are down to 19 players now. So
I just wanted to go back to like the proms that Tom was talking about. My son was year 11, so he missed his prom. He missed his leavers due. He got his GCSEs, which they took the best score out of whatever, because the A levels were like, it was a big
disaster, right?
big to do, right? So they took whichever score would have been highest is one they took. But so he he got grades that I thought he would get anyway. But so I mean, he passed everything. That's good. So, but yeah, going back to proms, yeah, that's the one thing that I really wanted him. Being American, proms and like graduation is such a huge deal. Not as much here because it's all about a big test here, but like the prom, I was looking so forward for him to go into prom. So
Yeah.
But that is very much an American. That's an American thing, which is massively come in over this country. I mean, 20 years ago, you didn't really, it wasn't a thing, but now it seems to be. It's very well recognised as the thing to look forward to at the end of the.
Well, we always had that in Ireland, Lee. We had something called
Did
the
you really?
Debs,
Okay.
the Debs Ball. So when you finished your final year, myself and my best friend at the time, and bless his cotton socks, he got killed in a car crash very shortly afterwards. We took the headmaster's twin daughters.
You're brave.
And, and seriously, I had a car. I had a car for the night, and at something like 4:00 in the morning, the four of us were sat in the headmaster's house, and I had his broken glasses on my face, saying, "Hey, hey," just the way he would say it in school. I'm sure it was drifting up the stairs, and his wife up there was probably just holding him back. But we had the Debs Ball, and I was lucky to survive mine.
Going to say, it certainly would have been. I mean, whose idea was that to actually to take the headmaster's twin daughters?
Well, it all happened a bit late. We were typical lads. All happened a bit late, and don't ask me how they were still available. They were good-looking girls, as you would expect, right? But about a week to 2 weeks. Oh shit! Look at this hand.
Aces versus kings versus kings. That's just brutal.
Yeah, Shane said it there. He said, "Wow." But maybe 2 weeks out, we both looked at each other and said, "Are we gonna try and get a girl for this thing or what?"
Can I tell you a story from?
Everyone was afraid to ask.
I've got to tell this story. I tell everyone this story. So I was doing a prom night, and the hotel phoned me. He said, "Look, one of the parents wants to contact you beforehand. They've got a favour to ask us." So I said, "Sure, give them my number." So they phoned me up. It was the mother of one of the kids. So look, my son's in the band and they're playing. My husband will be down there and he's organised some staging, but we've got no lighting. Can you help? I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll get down early and I'll light up the band and we'll take it from there." Anyway, got down, started chatting to the excuse me, sec. Just putting a little race in there. Started talking to
Against
Dad.
your favourite player.
Yeah.
He'll call anything.
Well, let's see if he will.
He's going to call you off. No, he
No,
doesn't.
He's had enough of that now. Not doing that again.
So start talking to the dad about the band. I said, "Hey, they're pretty good. Which one's your son?" He's the guitarist and lead singer, and he was excellent. So we started talking about bands that started at school, Coldplay, Genesis, etc. Quite a few. Muse, I think, were at school together. And then I mentioned the Beatles, and the guy starts laughing, and I was like, he goes, "Oh, I can't believe you said the Beatles." I said, "Why is that?" He says, "Oh, my father was in the Quarrymen."
No. With Paul McCartney.
The guy that left.
Wait,
The guy that left?
Well, no, with John Lennon.
Oh, John Lennon, was it?
Okay.
Yeah.
John Lennon was in the Quarrymen. So I'm like looking at the guy a bit stunned and thinking, well, when it comes to bullshit, that's
a great line.
Yeah. So, but the guy's quite serious. I said, "What? He was in the Quarrymen with John Lennon because it was a school band." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Not only that, he and Paul McCartney were born on the same day, and they were best friends." Hang on, I'm not finished yet. And his dad took Paul McCartney to the St. Peter's School Fair and introduced him to John Lennon.
Nice.
Yeah. What?
So I'm like, can't believe this. I'm in like music trivia heaven. Anyway, the dad said, "Look, I'm going to go now. Could you take some pictures and video?" He left. So I'm in there and I'm looking up the dad's name, and I'm going to tell you his name so you can do the same. Ivan Vaughan. I-V-A-N, Vaughan, V-A-U-G-H-A-N. Not only was his dad best mates with Paul McCartney, his mum was a French teacher. And Paul McCartney rang her up one day and said, Judith, whatever her name was, "I'm having trouble writing this song. Could you help me with the French?" Basically, his mum co-wrote Michelle.
Michelle. Wow.
That's one of my favorites.
That's a great story. That is quite amazing. I mean, the Beatles are something else. Paul McCartney told a story once about. I guess it must have been during the the early 2000s, about driving back to Liverpool and sort of pulling up in his car outside his family home and just sort of having a look, sort of a bit of a stare, a bit of a think back, and some old geezer knocked on the window of his car, and he thought, oh, well, here we go. So he rolled down the window, and the old guy says, yeah, that's where he was born, and wandered off. That's where he was born.
That's me, dude.
Have you ever been to Liverpool? Have you done the
Have I ever been to Liverpool?
Tour?
Oh my, no, I haven't done a Beatles tour.
Right, the Magical Mystery Tour, I think it was about 16 quid a head. Me and the missus did it for our first wedding anniversary.
Love to do it.
And they take you around all the places. And they take you to John Lennon's Aunt Mimi's house where he grew up. They told the story about his mum, who I think was Julia. Anyway, they tell a story, him and his mum were estranged. But towards the end of her life, because she died young, to the end of her life, they got back together, and she had gone round to his house, to Aunt Mimi's house, and they'd had a lovely evening together, and she was walking home a little bit pissed, and she got hit by a car and killed. And the driver was an off-duty policeman, and he got off. He got off from killing her, saying she was drunk, she walked in front of me, and, Anyway, he got drummed out of the police force, or harangued out of the police force eventually, and he became a postman. And they got some sort of revenge on him because Paul McCartney's house was on his route, and he had to deliver all the fan mail to Paul McCartney. Stacks of it.
Oh yeah, so that is punishment.
That was his punishment. Yeah, that's the story they told on the trip.
Wow.
So it's an excellent tour and great value. So
no, I would love to. I would love to do that. I saw something on the Cavern Club. I think they're having a really tough time at the moment. Obviously, such a shame, such an iconic venue.
Well, the Cavern Club at the moment now isn't the original Cavern Club. It's like 3 doors over. But the hotel we were staying in, as we were heading out, we got chatting to the concierge, and he said, well, what they don't know is back in the 60s, the Cavern Club didn't have a drinks license. So all the bands, all the groups used to congregate at a pub called the Grapes, which is across the road. Mm-hmm. And he said, stick your head in there, because that's where it all happened. That's where all the tunes got written. That's where they all jammed and sang harmonies. And you go in, and it was a shitty little pub with a left and a right, and they had karaoke on one. So we went to the right, to the quiet area, and all the pictures up of Cilla Black and Jerry and the Pacemakers, etc. All the Liverpool acts from the era, and the atmosphere was really good. But I heard, I'm not sure it was true, that was in danger of being closed down. But the Grapes, it's called the Grapes, worth a visit.
Wow. No, I would love to do that and see Eleanor Rigby's headstone and all of that sort of good stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be amazing. Did you heard the story about the Butcher cover?
No.
Okay, so the Beatles, of course, had worked hard to get a reputation for being good lads, right? And that was really important at the time, that they were seen as good, clean-cut sort of lads. And I think one of their relatively early records, don't ask me which single it was for, but it was produced with a cover of the 4 Beatles in a butcher's shop, with cuts up pieces of meat and little plastic baby dolls. So it looked like they were dismembering babies. And the first, couple of hundred records were printed up with the sleeve. So somebody at the record company saw this and thought, no, we're not having this. So they, recalled the records, and they over pasted them with a cover that was much more in keeping with the time. And off out it went. Well, if you can find one of those now, it's one of the most collectible, if not the most collectible Beatles sort of records. And they call it the Butcher's cover. So you go onto eBay and you'll occasionally see them. You certainly find it on Google. But it is possible to get that over cover off. And if you can get a pristine one, they're worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's very big money indeed.
Yeah, I'm in the process of selling off my vinyl. I don't even have I've got a lot because I started DJing in '82.
Wow.
So yeah, a couple of dealers have contacted me. I'm not sure what to do yet. I don't even have a record player. I have no time to play the music anyway. So the only time I listen to music really is in my car.
Yeah, well, look out for the valuable acetates and demos, and it's all of that sort of stuff. It's maybe 5% of your collection has probably a significant value potential.
Yeah, there's a one album by the Lars. I've got them, the original one that's worth a few quid, and Jimi Hendrix one, which I know is worth a few bob. I did sell one. I had Slade's first album when they were called Ambrose Slade. I sold it to a collector in Japan for 400 quid.
Great.
20 odd years ago. I bought it for 50p off my cousin. I haven't told him yet.
You're a bad man, Tom. You're a bad man.
Pretty sure he's not listening.
Oh, okay.
Now I understand where your
massive.
surname comes from.
Yeah.
Massive pot on the other table. We're down to 2 tables here in squads now, and Cody's just knocked Barry Simpson out in 15th place. Ace, I think it was ace 10 for Barry against 9-10 for Cody, and there was a 9 and a 10 on the flop, which is nasty one. But let's go, adds to Cody's stack. He's now chip leader. Just quick update on Sunday Roller because that's completed.
Awesome.
So Phil Coles finished third for $170. Adrian Coe in second for $273, and Jamie Locke got the win in that for just shy of $418. So well done to all of you guys. And we're down to 14 now in the squad, so we're 2 off the money.
So what's your predictor saying here, Lee, in terms of end results? Are we close to result, or do we still have some excitement ahead?
No, it's still this is very much in. So the team element here now, as we said, beforehand, it was very much going to be Purple Ackies versus Celtic Storm. Well, they've both got 2 players left in each, so it's down to Dan Houston and Jamie Edgell for Purple Ackies against Gary Holland and Cody for Celtic Storm. So that's the battle.
Collins in as well. So there's
Collins, yeah, we have 2 as well. I just noticed.
And you've got 2 in your in third place. So yeah,
I'd just be happy with third place. That would do me fine.
Too bad you changed the rules.
Well, looking at it, I think looking at it, you've the lockdown crew are all done behind you. Wild cards have got Greg Mawson and Bode. If Bode's playing, no, and Greg's not playing either. So I would suggest, I think you may well have secured
excellent
third place. I think obviously we might get the odd, somebody might sneak in there at the end, but it's looking pretty good at the moment.
How
we're
about
just
MVP,
coming up
Lee?
a couple of minutes. MVP is Dan is still obviously up there, and Dan is I mean it's pretty much going to be untouchable. Yeah, it's only Gary Hollands that can catch Dan really. They were the top 2 before we started, and they're both still in. So it's between them. There's currently a 67-point gap between the 2 of them at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So
that's quite close.
Bit of work for Dan.
I'm
so a bit
looking
work for
here,
Gary,
Lee.
should I say? Sorry. Yep.
Is Dan not gone?
Looks like it.
Or didn't play, maybe.
Oh, that could
He
be.
did play earlier, I think.
Did he?
Oh.
Oh, let me just check. I've got that one in right. Then it's not a typo. Could be a typo. I'll double check it now.
Yeah, you
not
work
playing.
away. So tell me, guys. I mean, Carey, how did you get into poker? So did you get into it in the States, or when you came to England? How did you get in?
All right. So my dad's the first child of 10.
Yeah. You got big families all over, haven't you, Carey? I can tell.
And then so he showed us how to play poker when we were really little, but we used to play 5-card draw.
Yeah.
But like when I got into No Limit, me and my husband were watching, it was in 2004, but we were watching the SOP from 2003 when Moneymaker won,
Yeah,
and we're like,
yeah.
we could do that. We could do that. So I started playing online, and actually the first tournament I ever won was a free roll on Absolute Poker. Say that really quiet. And it was like fixed limit hold'em, so it took me until like 6 in the morning, and I won a whole $10, and I was so excited. I was hooked
The glory
from there,
days.
but yeah. So that was before Black Friday.
Yeah.
Well, Black Friday actually happened when I was here, so I didn't have to deal with that. But yeah, I started playing in 2004 online.
That's brilliant. And so Moneymaker brought you in, as he did, millions of people reputedly. How about you, Tom? How did you get into the game?
I honestly, I remember that my first time playing was on William Hill.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't honestly remember why I started playing. I didn't have any mates that played and said, oh, yeah, you got to try poker. I saw it advertised somewhere and got an account, put some money in, and I won a few places. But cast your mind back. Do you remember a show? It was actually on TV on one of the Sky channels called Spin Palace.
Well, I mean, Spin Palace stands out for me as a brand name. I don't necessarily remember a show.
They used to play. They play a table. They just, like you guys are doing now.
Yeah.
They'd select a random table, and it would be on TV on a 15, 20-minute delay.
Got it. Yeah.
And so I thought I caught this one night. I was sort of the era after late night poker.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll give this a go. So I got a Spin Palace account and started playing. And one night, my table was on, and I was doing okay. And there was two experts. There was a guy called Axe.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy called Dr. Tom. Now,
I know both of them. Axe was a little bit strange, and Dr. Tom I know well.
One of the hairy bikers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Tom, he's famous for having compiled the poker scene in Casino Royale with Daniel Craig.
Yes.
He was the advisor on that.
Yes.
Anyway, so I'm there and I'm sort of chip leader and I'm playing quite well. And then he starts saying, oh, that guy, Tom or whatever my name was, needs to be a bit more aggressive. You know, wait a minute, I'm chip leader and I'm winning. You know, I've won quite a lot recently. He's criticising me aggressive. So I thought, okay, well, he knows what he's talking about. So I started being aggressive and I was out within about 5 minutes. So
there is no formula.
But then I found Ladbrokes and I played poker on Ladbrokes, and Ladbrokes community, I don't know if you guys
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Very, very strong. You had the chat room, which is quite visible. And I made a lot of friends on there. I went to one guy's wedding. A guy called Mark Turner, Gothman was his nickname. And that's where I met Richard Clark, who I know you guys know from the APAT at Blackpool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So they announced a team event similar to your guys in Blackpool, and I thought, I want some of this. It was 2005, and so I said, right, I want to play in this. So I got in a team with some guys that I'd made friends with, and we finished top in the league, and that meant that you went forward to the live competition with the greatest amount of starting chips. Turned up, sat down on my table. The first time I'd ever played live. I hadn't been on off a computer previously. And to my left is a guy called Paul Jackson, Action Jack, Poker Pro. Two to my right is Tony Jones, forklift truck driver from Basildon, Spider 99, winner of Ladbrokes Poker Million 2. Do you remember who he beat? Heads up.
Devilfish? No.
Nope.
Ooh, no.
Helen Chamberlain.
Oh, Helen, I knew well. Yeah.
Yeah, Soccer AM.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tony, lovely guy, and I'm in a hand, and I've got a pair of sixes, 6 of diamonds, another 6, and finally I'm in the hand with Tony. I improved to trips on the flop, I improved to a straight, and then on the river, I hit a flush, and I'm crapping myself. I've only got a 6 of diamonds, so I raised. Not min raise, but small raise, and Tony called it. And he flipped over the jack of diamonds, and I threw my cards up. And then they start pushing the chips towards me. I thought, what's going on here? And then I looked, I got a straight flush.
No!
I swear to God. I had a straight flush, and I didn't realise it. Because obviously, it's the computer tells you when you've got that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I've done it similar to that.
Tony read my eyes. He read my eyes, and he smiled. He goes, if I'd re-raised you all in, would you have folded? I just smiled and nodded. Oh, probably. Yeah. He was a lovely guy. I've got to say, a lot of respect for him. A nice guy.
I think it was a great age for British poker back then. Lots of characters. I knew the guy. I worked with him for several years. The guy who was running, he was the head of poker at Ladbrokes Poker at that time. A guy called Nigel Blower, and they were leagues ahead of everybody else in the UK. Sort of back then in the mid 2000s, as it were.
taking a lot of people over to Vegas as well for the main event. A buddy of mine, Mark Crocker, he got a package he won a package on Ladbrokes, went over and finished 350th or something for 54 grand.
Nice.
And I sort of railed him by mobile.
Yeah.
It's quite an expensive month that. But yeah, he was telling me, but he said he was playing for 12 hours and playing about 5 hands. He's never been so tired.
Well, I bet he was quite the star over there for 3 or 4 days. You know, that was probably as you get down to day 3 and day 4. That's huge.
Yeah, Ladbrokes did look after them, and I think he was briefly on the table with Phil Hellmuth, so he was like happy. Wow. Happy as Larry. Yeah. Briefly.
Yeah, and you had all of your pros were over there, the likes of Steve Davis and Roy Brindley, and it would have been a very interesting time to have been going deep in the main event with Ladbrokes, I would have thought.
So just to update, Dan isn't playing tonight, guys.
So Shug mentioned that.
Has confirmed that. So basically, Gary Hollands needs to finish, I think it's 5th or better to win the MVP.
Wow.
That's
okay.
what he needs to do. And obviously, with Purple Ackies not having Dan playing tonight, it means Celtic Storm with Gary and Cody still in. I've got a 2-1 player advantage. It's just Jamie Edgell in for Purple Ackies. So they've got to catch up about 46 points.
Well, that's doable.
Which is doable with 2 of them. So we'll keep an eye on it.
Okay, cool.
It's bubble time as well with me. He's sitting in the
the short. We currently have the short stack on the show, and it is bubble time. Yeah, we're down to 13. So, Carey, how are you getting on in the WPT game? You still in?
No, I just went out like a few minutes ago.
Yeah, okay, but you've got a day 2 though. You've already locked up a day 2. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I started playing poker in the UK. Like I came here in 2006, but I started playing on I think one of the first times I ever played live was the Betfred Ladies Tour.
Yeah.
In 2008, Broadway. But we did that for a few years, and that was like, at the time, Betfred used to have the satellites to the GUKPTs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I won a seat to a GUKPT in London. And that was the best thing that I'd ever done, because I ended up being on the feature table like all day the first day. So I met Tower, and I sat with like people like Chris Moorman and like Vicky Korn came to my table that day, and let's see who else. Lawrence Houghton was on that table. Like just like these people, like people would be like texted me going, Lawrence Houghton's like the 2nd best player in the UK online, and I'm like, and my kid supposedly is watching me on the live stream, saying hi to me on the screen because he was only like 4 at the time. So it was just like that was like one of the best.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, listen,
the ladies tour and Betfred back in the day.
I tell you, of the names you mentioned at the GUKPT, without doubt, the Tower. The Tower is the legend out of all of them.
He's still my
Phil.
Yeah.
What a character! Great character.
Yeah.
So how did you get into playing black belt then, Carey? How did that come about?
Let's see, because Tom mentioned Paul Jackson. Going back to that, for my 40th birthday, I was doing this. Black belt was doing this thing how you could try and be a sponsored pro, and I was in their first like training for that, but I didn't make it. But I did a paper on women in poker, and I interviewed Paul Jackson. And so for my 40th birthday, the night before one of the ladies tour events, Paul Jackson did an hour like hand revision thing like on the big screen at the Broadway for me and my friends. And I was like, oh, he just talked about Paul Jackson. Well, he did a hand revision thing for me and my friends on my 40th birthday.
Great.
Paul and I got on well until he found out I was a Wolves fan.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a Brommy, is he?
He's a big baggy.
Yeah. He's from there. So, but yeah, I started black belt just because I don't remember how I did, but I just started playing online, and it was just.
But that was a great. I mean, that was a great community, wasn't it? I mean, when you guys
awesome.
Obviously, you got to represent the team at some APAT team event as well. But whenever you guys were obviously more than always welcome, and even some of the guys now that were still playing in those teams try and get in, into into other teams because they want to have that experience of playing, and obviously you guys won it.
I think we had
No,
Nick,
we were second. We
had Nick Missouri.
when Neil won the Neil won
won
the
it, we were
individual,
second.
didn't he? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was
We
it.
had Nick Mazorin
Yeah.
on the stream a short while ago. He was in the chat box. I'm not sure if he's still there. Nick was part of the black belt team, was he not?
Yeah, he was on the team. Yeah, I wasn't on the black belt team every year. I was on the first year, I think.
Okay.
But Nick was on the team that I was on. But,
Okay.
yeah, it was fun.
No, those
we
team
also
events
did
are
another
classic.
team. Yeah.
Oh, Cody,
But
Cody
I think for
again.
My favorite APAT.
Wow. Other
My favorite APAT
table,
was-
other table. Radek with kings, Cody with queens, and Cody flops a queen and is now up to 2.7 million. But what that does mean is he's bust a player, so you know what that means, Tom.
Yay! Colin's all in. Colin's all in.
Tom's
Colin is
cashed.
king. Colin's all in.
Yeah. Looking good. Yes. Looking very good.
Yeah.
Colin's
I
all
didn't
in,
have
and
that
he's
table up. I just had the one.
is scooped as well. So
Yep. Trouble up.
Cool. So we can't catch
trouble
up
up
to
for
them
Colin
now.
as well. Yeah.
First and second. Anyway.
So Tom's
That's
made the
it,
money.
really.
That's the important thing. Thought he might be the one that
Yes.
busts, but no, he's made the money. And that amazingly,
again.
Des, the bubble boy is Radek, who we were watching earlier on.
Wow. You see, it's not about the
Probably
chips.
nice.
It's not about the chips. It's about
Oh,
managing
God.
them.
Oh,
unlucky
unlucky Colin.
Yeah, we've just lost Colin on the
he's
other
still in
table as well. So
Got it.
oh, he's
Chip
got
the
some
chair.
chips behind. So
He's got more
yeah.
than. Oh no. Yeah, he did. It's because he had just won the hand previous to the same guy. But yeah.
So listen, guys, we talked about poker and how you got into poker. How did you find APAT? So, Carey, I'm guessing we've sort of sensed that that's through the team events. Is that fair, or did you find us
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
anything else? Team events.
I think it was team events. Probably Vince. Vince is the one that like introduced me to people. Vince Ely.
Yeah.
He's the one that introduced me to Blonde.
Oh yeah.
I think and then it was AWOP, a World of Poker.
Yeah.
That forum back in the day.
Remember that? Yeah. Well,
and then that's when Rock Poker Online.
I remember that.
was
Yeah.
The sponsor.
Malcolm,
with
right?
Betfred, with Malcolm. Yeah, he's the one that was doing the Betfred Ladies Tour.
Yes,
For like the 4 years
yes.
it went.
Yes.
And then, or however many years, 3 years. And then, but I probably through him. That's probably how I found APAT. But my favorite APAT was when the first year I got a U.S. team.
I remember that.
Because
Do you remember the?
I couldn't make it because I had to go to work, and I sent my husband, who's English. And so on the second year we had the U.S. team, I got Joe Stapleton to be on the team. I was like,
I remember that.
all I did was message him. I didn't think he was going to say yes because he didn't know who I was.
I remember.
He did. I was like,
Somebody
okay.
somebody probably should have also mentioned to Joe it was a 2-day event. That would have
Yeah,
that would have
well,
been useful.
he didn't understand that, but he had those concert tickets.
He had a
that were
blast
really
though for the
important
one
to us.
day. He had an absolute blast. I know he thoroughly
And
enjoyed
Tony
it. so.
Trippier was just.
Oh,
Tony
Tony's.
Trippier was just like fanboying him bad.
Tony,
I'm just, like,
Tony.
following him around.
If I'm not mistaken, sorry, if I'm not mistaken, Kerry, I think I interviewed you and Beth McInnes, and Beth was absolutely petrified. She wouldn't answer a question because every time I'd go to her, I think she was just so nervous, which was
Okay.
really unusual.
I think
You
I
did
know.
spectacularly well. I think.
don't remember.
Oh, it'll be out
I
there. There's a
remember
video
Craig.
out there
I do
somewhere.
remember Craig. He's Canadian, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So at the
Okay.
same time as we lose Tom, Colin doubled up on the other table. So
Yay!
that's
Well,
kind of
sorry,
yin
Tom.
and yang. So
Yeah, Colin, boo.
It's okay. It's okay. I looked. I had a pair of twos, and I thought if these two guys fold, I'll go all in. Probably get called and just hope for the best. But then
Yeah,
flops
I missed
two
it.
pair.
Oh.
There you go. Anyway, I have enjoyed playing tonight. So let's
made
cheer Colin on.
made a cash as well. So that's
Unlucky
good.
Tom.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Take the edge off things, doesn't it?
I mean, we all have over 100 points, all four of us. We're really consistent. Even when I didn't play last week. I think it was last week or the week before. I only played one game, but yeah, we always have like over 100 points. It's just we can't get in the top two. So close, but yeah,
It'll happen. It'll happen.
it'll happen. Yes. I'm getting better at PLO and PLO8, so because I watch Jamie, I'm like totally a Jamie Staples like fanatic
Oh,
now.
really?
I watch his stream
Okay.
every day
Yeah.
that he's on. So I watch what I was and of course Daniel Negreanu. So I was watching them do the PLO8, and I always used to like playing PLO8, but I took a couple years off of poker because I was going to uni. But so yeah, so now I'm starting to get into PLO and PLO8. I'm like, I like these.
So what do you watch? Do you watch their Twitch streams and just
Twitch
whilst they're
stream,
talking
yeah.
through hands and that kind of thing? Well, obviously,
Yeah.
apart from Daniel not on Twitch at the moment, but
No, I watch him on YouTube.
I don't know.
so, yeah.
Is his? I was going to say, yeah. Is his? I don't know if there's any old stuff or whether his actual channel's completely. I presume his channel's completely banned at the moment. I presume.
Yeah, he's banned. He's off
yeah.
Twitch because of his because someone trolled his wife.
His little
And he
rants,
doesn't.
yeah.
He doesn't deal with that kind of stuff very well.
We actually had Patrick Leonard on the episode 2 of The Orbit last week. I don't know whether you guys have had a chance to catch that, but if you haven't, it's on demand. Just go and have a Google and you'll find it. And that was one of the subjects that was talked about. And Patrick had a very interesting view on it. He thinks that the whole thing was staged to allow Daniel to promote the new Snap Cam feature on GG Poker. That was his take on it. It was all done to all a little bit staged to allow them to talk about this new. I don't know whether Daniel would want to necessarily get himself banned from Twitch just to promote something else. I don't know, but yeah.
It was before they had the Snap Cam. This happened. So
But that was what his suggestion was, that it was all done to try and just be able to promote that. Seems a little bit far-fetched in my view, but
can I just give a big shout out to my teammate Colin McCarthy? He's gone from 150k to 1.5 million.
He's in good shape on this final, isn't he?
And we are on this final table now, so yeah.
Card racking.
Yeah,
wow,
completely.
amazing.
So,
Well done,
so
Colin.
what we've got here, just to line it up for people, is it's basically Gary Hollands and Cody Wagner for Celtic Storm, and Jamie Edgehill for Purple Ackies, and they are the two teams that are fighting out for the top of the leaderboard this week.
Wow, looking
I'm
good
happy
for
that
Celtic
Cody's
Storm
using my
with that
chips
2 in.
well.
Yeah, and if Gary can actually get a 5th place finish or better, he will also take MVP as well. So.
Wow. So is Dan Alston a victim of the having not finished tying off on the game last night or something?
I don't
Why is he not
know.
playing
I mean,
tonight?
to be honest, it's very unusual for Dan not to be playing, so I don't no idea why he's not playing tonight. But
Have we check the hospitals? I mean, should we be ringing around?
it is very strange. Interestingly, Vince finished in 24th, so I don't know whether maybe it was Vince's turn for the account. Maybe that's what it was.
I did love your comment, Lee, when our teammate Stuart Pillinger won the PKO, and the previous night he was first out.
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember? That was very good.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
You do see that quite a lot of people that kind of go from zero to hero, kind of in like a. It's all team. Somebody that will win the night before, and then the following night they just absolutely.
We're very lucky to have Stu and Colin, who are capable of winning. Both won squad nights. Stuart's won 2 I know of.
Yeah, but then he'll go out first the next night. He's one of those. Not to be mean to Stu, but he's a great player. But he's good aggressive dude. Or loose.
Oh, that is gross.
I'm just always in the.
Sorry, I've just bust the WPT mini.
You have
Jacks into queens into aces, 3-way all in, and I had the jacks.
That's the 321, yeah. That's 320.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were playing.
Oh, I just keep it under the radar.
Dude.
I actually played one of those flips into the 33, and Lee won that one.
I know. I didn't even see the table open. That's how I run.
You won tens full of aces.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
I got second with my queen.
It's been a really weird day of satelliting into stuff today. Pretty much missed everything early afternoon, and then late on this evening, I've just bagged tickets all over the place. So it's been, it's been a weird one. Weird day.
Yeah.
So, But there is silly value in some of the satellites if you just take your time to have a look and see what's about there. There's some overlays.
The overlays were like over $1,000, and those 110 feeders I was doing, I was like,
yeah.
So guys,
like
at any level, yeah.
Look, I'm seeking advice, right? I've played one poker tournament in lockdown, just the one. I've played one, and I think that was in week 2. It was a squads event, great fun. So I haven't played, been just busy all over the place. I've got to play. What should I play? What should I be aiming to play? There's just so much happening right now. What's the event you'd recommend?
There's a new.
If it was me, I would say you want to try and get into the WPT World Online Championship main event, or one of the 3 levels.
What's my route? What's my route in? Do you think?
Satellites.
Am I going in at $3 or $33? I mean, what
depends which one you depends what you want to play.
On these.
Yeah, it depends what you want to play. It's yeah, it's 109 or 1,000 and something, 1,080 or 1,090 or $10,000. I mean, you could go for the 10,000 one, Des. I mean, but yeah, the Ferrari might have to wait another week.
No. The Ferrari funds, Lee. The Ferrari funds, right?
Yeah. But to be honest, I actually think the satellites into the 1,000 are actually quite achievable for players, because you can do that from like $10, and you've only got to work your way up through.
So $10 to 109, 10, 1 in 10 qualifies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you could even do 22 into 109, where you as a phased. So you carry your stack through. Yeah.
Nice.
So there's a few nice different routes. And obviously I think there's still what's going on with the World Series. And of course, interestingly, Stars didn't hold back. They've just gone and announced W Coupe to kick off in about it's not even a week's time, I think it is. With a lot of freeze outs in that. So it's interesting. I mean, it doesn't seem to end. Is it ever going to end for online poker at the moment, guys? What do you think?
No, I think they're probably, August, there's less people. You can tell in all the tournaments, there's less people right now because it's August. But
they're not on holiday, though, are they? I mean...
Yeah, a lot of people are on holiday right now.
But they're
just somewhere else in the UK.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're just not online.
Yeah.
Tom, you said you just come back from holiday. Where did you go?
We're down to South Devon, a place called Slapton. Heard of it?
Oh, nice. Okay.
No.
Slapton Sands. I didn't know this until I told my daughter who lives in Paynton, and I said, "Oh, we're going to Slapton." Oh, she goes to Slapton Sands. Oh, wow. During the war, the Slapton Sands was used to practice for the D-Day landing. There was some sort of accident, and 1,000 people were killed. I'm like, what? I thought they got stuck in the sand or something, but apparently it was a friendly fire accident. Killed 400, and then a German E-boat, not a U-boat. Shelled the beach and killed another 700. So that was I like kind of like history stuff like that. And I went down to the beach, and there's a hotelier found a Sherman tank under 60 feet of water.
Fantastic.
And he hauled it out, and when he got it out of the water, the wheels were still turning.
How the hell do you get that out of 60 feet of water? That must have been wedged.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they floated it up, got it onto the sand, and it's now there as a permanent memorial, and all the names, they were all US Navy. All the names of all the sort of 1,000 people are there listed. It's quite,
nice,
quite amazing.
Talking about things that like COVID affected. I'm in athletics. That's like what I've been doing for the last 5 years. More, see, that's part of the reason why I haven't been doing poker that often.
Did you used to do the shot put or javelin?
I'm doing, I do discus, shot put,
javelin. There you go.
Weight throw. I throw all the implements that you can throw. But I'm
not going to say. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to. I'm not going there.
Hammer. The hammer that goes over your head. But anyway, so all of our competitions have been canceled for the whole summer, and I'm like in the Masters, like anyone 35 and over.
Yeah.
I'm like the general secretary of Eastern Masters, but I'm also the vice chair of Colchester and Tendring Athletics Club, and it's just really messed up all of our summer.
Oh, that's a real shame. You see, I can imagine that social distancing would be a problem at one of those events. I mean, if I see you coming towards me with a bloody hammer over your head, I'm running, right? 5 feet, forget that. I want 50 feet minimum.
Yeah, it's
I had
interesting
to
what
give
you
up
say.
my
It's interesting what you say
athletics.
about those. Yeah, it's interesting what you say about those events, though. Obviously, there's been big focus on professional sports and
Yeah.
when that's going to come back and how it's going to come back and what they're going to do. But actually, it's things like people that that play maybe more in an amateur setting, or even youngsters coming through. I mean, my nephew swims for Wales and is kind of close to getting into the the kind of the GB training team and all that kind of thing. And when you've got swimming pools that are all shut, and basically these
Yeah.
kids
Oh,
that
yeah.
are kind of developing through that can't do any of their training, and they miss out, that it becomes a real problem, because actually if you miss it,
Yeah, they missed a whole year.
a whole year, it's like, well, you miss that development, and are you able to then catch that up, or is that ultimately a case of, it just doesn't happen? It's
We
going to be
just started
fascinating to see
training
what
again.
happens.
Well, you
We
can.
just started training again last month, and you have to have. You're only allowed to have one coach, because I'm like assistant coach. One coach with 5 children, and they all have to be spaced out near. Like I was coaching shot put, for example. They had to be all spaced out 2 meters. You had to put like cones down. No one's allowed to touch the cones. You have to make sure that like you wipe everything down. It's really tough.
Yeah, but you've got to adapt,
But the
right?
kids are getting to do it. Yeah, the kids are getting to do it because it's outside. So.
But Kerry, listen, you can adapt to changing circumstances. So, for example, instead of the shot put, Colin McCarthy is suggesting you could like shot the saucepan. Would you call that shot saucepan, or would you call it a saucepan putt? What would that be called?
I don't know. I just call it a little cannonball because it's like
Little cannibal. You
kilos
call it
of
whatever you
metal.
want. I'm happy. 50 feet away from you, though.
I can only throw 7 meters, so if you're 50 feet away, then
I reckon I need 50 feet.
I had to give up my athletics career. I misread the instructions, so I was heading the shot and catching the javelin. I was no good.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
not going to
don't
work.
catch a javelin.
That's not going
There's
to work.
some gruesome pictures of because I'm an official as well. So there's some gruesome shots of officials getting hit with javelins. Like,
Oh yeah, that must be brutal.
not good.
I grew up abroad, and my school started 1967. It opened, and the guy that set the shot put record still holds it 50 years later.
Wow.
And it did make me smile when I first got on to APAT. The guy's name, he's sadly no longer with us, ex-copper. The guy's name is Don Logan.
Oh, brilliant.
So it did smile when I saw.
Could be our John. It could be our John.
Made me think, no,
Well, I was going to ask you,
died.
Tom, because what? So obviously we messaged. I have a quick message to the guests before, during the day, or even a comment I had from Tom. Obviously coming back from holiday, said, still a bit half cut from last night. He said, discovered I was staying only a few miles away from an old HK footy teammate who I hadn't seen for 30 years. I mean, so you've travelled a bit then in your earlier years.
I have, yes. So when I'm from Glasgow originally, as you can tell by my accent, and
oh yes, very noticeable, yeah.
So
it's
so when I was 6 years old, my dad accepted a 2-year secondment from the GPO, which is BT's predecessor, to the Hong Kong Telephone Company. So we went out there in 1965. My mum, my dad, my brother, and myself. And after 2 years, they said, "Look, we'd like you to stay. Here's what we'll give you." And he went, "Yeah, all right then." And we ended up staying 20 years. So I was there for 25 in total, 24.
Oh, fantastic.
Sorry.
I enjoyed many a morning heading over to Hong Kong Island on the Star Ferry.
Star Ferry, yeah.
And having a cold one at Delaney's in Kowloon back.
Well, my old squash partner is a part owner of Delaney's.
You're kidding. Wow, it's a small
Jim
world.
Fulton, yeah, Scottish
Small
guy.
world.
It
It's
is.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, Hong Kong's such a small
Like
place.
Hong
especially-
Kong, the country Hong Kong. Okay.
So it's quite a small place. If everyone says, "Oh, yeah, I lived there," or who do you know? And undoubtedly we get it's kind of like 3 points of separation there. And so the guy I met up with the other night, Matt. So I played football out there. I tried to make it as a pro, didn't work out. Went back to Hong Kong. I was kind of homesick. Ended up playing for an amateur team, but we were pretty good. So every year we'd get promoted into the professionals, and we'd get relegated, and we would be up and down, up and down. And this guy I met with last night, Matt Corker, his name was. He's a policeman, and his initials are MBE. And I remember when we got promoted one year, they talked about our team, and we had said, oh, it's got one guy owned a bar and one guy owned a butcher's, and one guy even has the MBE. But of course, that wasn't quite the place. But we, 1980, never forget it. We one team professional team had been relegated, and we were playing the team that was third bottom. We were second bottom, and we played them in their final game of the season, and we had to win. And in the 87th minute, we got a penalty. We scored it. We stayed up, and 2 professional teams got relegated.
Wow.
So 75 bottles of champagne we drank that night. It was,
Wow.
it was a big night. And
a
so
humid,
Matt and I were talking about
a humid spot, Tom, right? It must have been challenging to play football in.
It was, I also played squash as well, but at least the courts were air conditioned.
Yeah.
But, what do you make of what's going on over in Hong Kong at the moment? Obviously, it's massive change from the time that you were there. Yeah.
Yes. So it's really difficult. I've got friends on both sides. I had a friend, Lee. Her dad, ex-professional football, played for Glasgow Rangers. Went out to Hong Kong. He's the guy that got me into DJing. His daughter is a journalist, and she was on the front line, helping people, giving them water, letting them use her toilet, and I had to tone down. I was pro-protest up until the time that bricks started throwing onto the police. Now, I had a lot of friends in the police, and they were sort of vilifying the police, the Hong Kong police, and I thought, I'm not having this. This is a little bit sinister. And of course, then you probably saw the video of the old man getting hit with a brick and being killed, and I thought, no, this is just wrong. There's a better way. There's a better way to do this. But of course, if you start saying you're anti-protest, suddenly that makes you pro-China. And that's not the case with me. I'm pro Hong Kong, and I just
it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's very easy to get easy to get tarred with a brush, isn't it? When yes, it can be you actually the things you are able to to decompartmentalize the situation and go, well, actually, this is what I believe about this particular part of it, but actually not this bit. But
people would twist the words. But there's lots of videos flying around, like kids were being offered money to be on the front line, and they were enticing girls to have sex with people that were on the front line, and all this sort of thing. And videos were getting leaked here and there, and it's just, I don't think the whole truth was out there. And there was a couple of Ukrainian guys found out there, and they reckoned that they were training them in sort of tactics, guerrilla tactics, and just horrible. And there was the case where the kiddie got shot, but moments later he'd been trying to snatch the policeman's gun, and then he got shot later.
It's sad that we live in a world where it's so easy now for whether it be a video clip or a particular incident to be edited or presented in a certain way, and that's then picked up very quickly by multiple media outlets or just online in general with a more of a viral thing, and before you know it, something is bang, it's out there, and you're like, well, what's actually gone on? You don't know what you can believe anymore.
It happens here as well. It doesn't just happen in places overseas.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Britain. But the thing that really killed it for me was there was a young Chinese guy working for JP Morgan, merchant bank, and he'd been out for lunch. He was only about 21, 22, glasses on, cup of coffee in his hand, trying to get back into his office. And there was these press people haranguing him, and he was actually a European guy with a press shirt on and a mask on. And this guy was just trying to get into his office, and this European guy stopped him from opening the door so that another guy could come and punch the guy, and he's taking photographs. So he's created the news by not allowing this guy to escape. Did you see what I mean?
It's quite sinister, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite sinister.
Didn't envy the police at all. So it's calmed down a bit. and hopefully it will stay that way. But of course, they've got this new sort of the national security law that's come in. That a friend of mine just posted a video from Friday night, in sort of the downtown, and it's empty. No, everyone's scared to go out in case they get picked up.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So,
yeah,
scary place. I'm quite eager to get back. I go out. I didn't go back out for 15 years. Then I went back out on holiday, and then my football club organised a thing. You may have seen it. It used to be on Sky Sports, the Hong Kong Soccer Sevens.
yeah,
And so they have an open tournament, which is primarily sort of the under 18 teams for some teams. So Villa, Newcastle, West Ham, Leicester, Arsenal, Rangers, Celtic, PSV Eindhoven. They go out, send their youth teams, and then you'll get a team of ex-pros playing. So they have a Masters tournament as well. So my mate was the tournament organizer. So I went out on holiday in 2004. I said, look, where I work, I run a team, 7-a-side team. Most of our guys are over 40. Could you save us a place? And he went, yeah, sure. So I took a team from my work. We went out, borrowed a couple of players when we got out there, and we played our first game, lost 1-0 to the previous runners-up. I'm thinking, hey, this is going to be all right. In our second match, I looked up and we're playing against Michael Rummenigge, Karl Heinz's brother, and a guy called Uwe Bein, who played for Germany when they won the World Cup in 1990. Yeah, we lost 6-0.
it's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, then I add and tell you that the games were only 15 minutes.
Okay, it's still not bad.
That's pretty short. That's really short.
Yeah, it was just we were showing a lesson. That guy Uwe Bein scored 4, but I played. I was very, very lucky. I played in it 3 times. The last time 2009 on my 50th birthday. The thing I've got to add as well, I've now had both my hips replaced, or I should say resurfaced. I've got what Andy Murray got.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And I'd had my first one done 2004, and I went out in 2005, and I wrote to the company that makes the parts and said, look, I'm playing in this thing, it's on Sky Sports, could you sponsor us? And they sent me £1,000.
Nice.
They sent me a hip.
They sent me a check for £1,000, so like a free hip.
Oh.
But I had a great time, and we played played this team of ex-pros. I'll throw a few names at you. So we had Clive Walker.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
QPR,
Yep.
Spurs.
Yeah, I've been around. Yeah. We had Richard Sneakers, played for Bolton, West Brom.
Okay.
Dutch guy, blonde.
Yeah, I was going to say
Play for
Dutch guy.
Bolton? Play for Bolton, yeah?
Bolton, yep.
Yeah.
We had the Brightwell brothers, Ian and David, Man City. Their dad, Robbie Brightwell, the famous athlete.
No.
Their mum, I think, is a swimmer.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah. Back in the late 80s? Yeah.
Yeah. Lee Naylor, Nottingham Forest. He's the longest serving player under Brian Clough. So, and Dave Regis, Cyril's brother.
Okay.
So we're playing against these guys, and we played a practice game on the Wednesday night, and they scored 10 past us. And then we're playing them Friday, and they're at competition proper, and we're crapping ourselves. We held them to a 0-0 draw. You should have seen us. We were cheering like we'd won the whole
We just
thing.
lined the goal, Lee. They lined the goal.
Go.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Here
yes.
we go.
Collins,
Brilliant.
set of
Wow,
fours
what a
against
thought.
7-4. Yeah,
Well,
wow.
set of 4s,
Sick.
I'm telling you. Set of
sick.
4s.
Colin is a machine.
Wow. Yeah.
He is.
So just to clarify, we're down to 6. So just so for the dynamic of what's going on here, Gary Hollands needs a 5. I think it's 5th or better finish to win MVP for the week, and we've still got Gary and his teammate Cody chasing down Jamie Edgill's purple Ackies for the team event. So
Wow.
that's the
It's
dynamic
all on.
of what we've got left at the table here. And Colin's playing for fun, I think, which is when he's at his most dangerous. Yeah.
I think where he was like an hour ago.
when he lost that
150K.
huge pan and was down to 105. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Well, we had Colin on the show a couple of weeks back, and I think he sort of has discovered winning fairly recently. I think is what he was saying at the time, Lee, if I'm not mistaken. And he's had a pretty decent last 10 or 11, 12 weeks. He has been very consistent.
Won the roller as well, $900.
Yeah.
I think it was that night.
So how do you guys get on in a team together? Do you have a little kind of just as Jamie's all in with King 9 and Andres has got 6s, and that's going to mean we lose Jamie.
The sets are
which
coming.
I think
Is that it? We think
I've
that's
got
it.
a feeling that might
Celtic
well
Storm.
mean
Is
that Gary is going to be guaranteed MVP. And I probably would suggest Cody and Gary are probably going to bank enough points here to overtake Purple Ackies. I think it's going to be a Celtic Storm winning week, but we'll just see how this plays out.
Wow, amazing.
That's really good.
Wow, I can't believe Colin's turnaround. It's amazing. Done well.
I know. Go, Colin.
So do you guys? So what I was going to ask, just as we've gotten all in, and it's a Panagitis with A7 that is going to be good. His ace plays. So do you guys, do you chat before kind of a Sunday night of what you need to do, or do you all know where you're at, or have you got does somebody kind of lead the team and give a motivational speech, or how does it work?
Not really. Colin's probably the closest to doing that, but not. We just chat in our Facebook.
Yeah, I got Facebook
page.
Message chat, and just like who's in, who's playing.
We cheer each other on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I entertain them with pictures of my losing to quad 5s 2 nights running. That sort of thing.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then quad 4s to Peter Wigglesworth earlier yesterday. I think it was quad 4. So it's been a tough one. So it can happen.
Yeah, that's not good. So we can confirm, or I can confirm, Gary Hollands is going to be MVP for the week.
Wow, well done, Gary.
And interestingly, Gary's raised it up here after.
Ooh.
I'm not sure how the original bit, but his teammate Cody's gone back in over the top. So
guess he just.
Well, let's see what Cody has. Hey.
Yeah, I mean it's Ace King.
Oh, he's got Ace King.
Jacks.
Oh, it's a classic race.
Oh,
he's
chip
going
dumping.
to give him chip dump.
Can't blame the guy for calling with Ace King.
As it stands at the moment, if Gary and Cody went out 4th and 5th, so the next 2 positions, they would actually just fall short of winning the team event. So they do need to hang on for a place.
How close was that thing? What was Cody thinking?
They do need to hang on for a place, just to make it secure. Because if they got the 4th and 5th place points, they would actually be 2 points short of Purple Ackies. So, but obviously one more exits that not them or somebody else will.
Well, it's not going to be Colin.
See the win. No, I don't think Colin's giving away that stack quite easily. But obviously the guys are all playing for the win now. It's 100, nearly 120.
Cody's gone off for a drink after hearing that stat.
Step
back. Making sure the doors.
To be fair, what I actually quite like about that is they're playing it as it's a team event and they want to do, but actually they're playing to win, and actually the reshove as a big stack with Ace King suited is the right thing to do.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do. And the reality of it is that here the chances of them both now finishing 4th and 5th is a slim situation. I think there's obviously a very short stack at the table. Who's obviously just playing for himself. So
I think they knew that we were kidding.
I don't know. We never know who's listening to the. Sometimes we can say stuff on the stream and someone goes, "Oh, I didn't realize that until you mentioned it," and we're like, "Well, you didn't even realize you were listening." It's like. I see Ian Ayres joined the stream. Hi, Ayres. Haven't seen you playing this week. I'm assuming you're well. And
Ian's been playing.
Has he not? I don't think I've seen. He's certainly not in the team. I don't think I've seen him this week.
He was on a table.
Or maybe he was just. Maybe he was just dropped from. Maybe it was just that he was dropped from the Hetton, or the Hetton guys haven't been playing. I don't think this week. Maybe the other guys haven't been playing. Therefore, that's why I didn't pick up that he was doing much.
Did I tell you, Lee? I went on my holidays yesterday.
On your own?
Yeah. I flew
Where'd
up
you
to I flew up to Manchester, Lee.
You
What?
flew to Manchester.
I flew to Manchester. Yeah, I had this little diamond aircraft, right? So I took off at Biggin Hill and just flew up to
Lovely,
Manchester.
Yeah.
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 Now
How
it's
is
look-
how is the
You
new
flew
flight?
it.
How is the new flight simulator?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's running really well on my laptop. Flew up to Manchester, 1,000 feet off the ground. The view was amazing. Now, obviously,
Is
you
it?
know.
But is it
Does she
genuine?
have a
Is it as
pilot's
good?
license?
Oh no!
Is it as good as? Is it as good as you've been raving about?
Oh,
this
it's
for a while?
absolutely superb.
It's only-
Lee, it's absolutely
so,
superb.
am I right?
Lee,
So
I
am I
organised
right
for
in
my
saying-
family to be away. I organised for my family to be away on the week of launch. I've brought, right, we got a 32-inch television in the bedroom, right, in the bedroom. I took it down a couple of nights ago. It's now sat on the kitchen table, right, with my little laptop, an iPad, and a keyboard that just flashes at me. I have no idea what this keyboard does. But yeah, it's insanely good. Insanely good. The
I saw
The
somebody
scenery is
who was
amazing.
A flight
No, no, no.
simulator.
Somebody Twitch streams Flight Simulator, don't they?
lots of people
I think it's a
do.
poker player. But yeah, I'm sure it's
Goat
poker. I'm sure I read.
Simulator
I have a flight simulator story. So,
Oh, here we
out in
go.
Hong Kong.
Kai Tak.
He's got lots of stories.
Kai Tak's amazing.
Sorry, I do apologise, but we had a mate I played squash with, Dave Connolly. He was a British Airways pilot, and he went on the Krypton Factor.
Wow.
And of course, part of the Krypton Factor is you have to land a plane, and he came second.
Oh.
And to this day, he's ribbed about it, and it happened about 30 years ago. He's a BA pilot.
Oh,
and
see,
he
I
finished
used to love the
second.
Krypton Factor.
One of
Krypton
those.
Factor was great.
I don't even
Why?
know what
Why
that
have they
is,
never
but that
brought?
must be
Why have
English.
they never brought the Krypton? I don't know why they've never brought the Krypton. So the Krypton Factor
Someone
basically was four people, Carey. Right? It's like a competition, but it's a physical and mental competition. So you would do like 4 different games. It was an obstacle course that you had to complete, and then there would be games where you've got to, do memory stuff or basically, put shapes in the right, position or all this kind of thing, and you basically earn points from it. And a great show actually.
And the last event was you had to land a plane. It was a flight simulator. And Dave went in there, BA pilot, and finished second in points to some bloke who'd never been in a plane before.
It happens.
Just
It
in
happens.
just in the plane, just in the simulator part, he lost the points, or overall.
I think it's a bit like Mastermind. You got points for every event. I think
Yeah.
you
Oh,
got
okay.
points
So he was
fourth,
second in
third,
that
second,
event.
first. Yeah, there's
Okay.
the person in fourth place will get 4 points, 3, 2, 1, and
Oh,
etc.
okay, gotcha.
Listen, I want to see the Japanese version of the Krypton Factor, where they're all hooded and then they take place on ice or something. That's what I want to see. And maybe they
Tell you
throw
what,
fish at them.
another old one is like it's a knockout, and I've seen there's a new game which is like a version of it's like a cross between like sort of Super Mario Kart and it's a knockout, and you play it with a number of players, and you basically have to run down. So you're a character, and you basically have to run down the obstacle course, and stuff is being thrown at you and stuff, and it's like a race as to who can get to the end. I can't think what it's called, but I've seen that.
Oh, they've been playing this in inner cities for years, Lee. For
Yeah.
years.
There's a new,
And at
there's
the
a
end of
new
I'm a
game,
Celebrity.
new game called Fall Guys that's like Takeshi's Castle. There's a new
Oh, yeah,
game
yeah,
called
this
Fall
Oh, that
Guys.
might be it. That could be
Takeshi's
it.
Castle.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
It's just like Takeshi's Castle.
Listen, Colin McCarthy, he's getting smarter with me here. He says, do you have to virtually self-isolate for 14 days now, Des Duffy?
Anywhere up near the northwest,
Something
anywhere
I
in the
think I have to.
northwest, it's
Somewhere in Manchester.
That's
not
right.
good, yeah.
I'm stuck in my house now for 14 days. Oh, hello. That feels familiar.
Aren't they on a lockdown in Manchester area? Or like
a lot of
more a
Manchester area is
lockdown?
on lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this
Right,
is
I'm
this
off
is
on
looking a bit.
holiday. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm off
No,
on
no,
holiday
go on.
next week on
Next-
my own. I'm doing the North Coast 500.
Oh, what's that?
It's basically the North Coast of Scotland, so up from Inverness, up John O'Groats, Thurso, right across and back down.
Yeah.
It's 500 miles.
And what do you have to do?
Just drive it. Just
Hold on. That
Fine.
sounds like
Week off.
fun. I thought you were talking about some sort of Ironman type event here, and you're talking about you're going to leisurely drive 500 miles.
No.
with a nice breakfast every morning. This sounds like fun. How can we get a piece of this?
But I'd imagine that's quite a, the route is probably quite a tricky one, isn't it? It's because if it's all on that coastline.
Yeah, I'll post the link. Will the link go up?
Oh,
let's have a look.
Yeah,
yeah. If you put it in the chat, yeah, it'll be fine. Oh, they're at it again. Cody's got kings. Gary's got eights.
The boys are in.
Oh, wow.
And Cody's just bust his teammate.
Has he cost them the title?
Oh shit! Sorry.
If Cody goes out
Cody's
next,
going to have to win now or something, isn't he?
If Cody goes out next, then they wouldn't win it.
Oh, that's when.
Oh,
that's yeah.
Oh,
So someone else has to go out first.
Oh.
My
I'll push them
husband
off that, Anne.
saying my husband did the Land's End to John O'Groats walk 5 years ago.
Oh wow, walk! Wow.
I mean,
5 years ago. Is he still
if
walking?
I'm Colin,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say
Yeah,
I shouldn't say what other people should do here. But if I'm any of the others,
Don't say it, Lee. Don't say it.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm thinking, folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He did it in 7 weeks and 4 days, and he did it for a little dementia charity in Chelmsford because both his grandma and my grandma had just died that year she had Alzheimer's, and his grandma died of the same thing. So he chose a small charity.
That's a nightmare.
Wow.
That's a nightmare challenge. What is the distance?
It was over. I'm pretty sure he walked over 1,000 miles because he didn't do. Wow. He went to the Fort William way and went when he got to Scotland. He went up to Fort William and went that way. So
okay.
So he walked past all the locks.
I'd have gone the Fort William way. I'd have caught a bus.
He caught a bus home.
Only took me 4 days. Feet are absolutely fine. My arse is a bit sore, but the feet are fine.
He actually used one pair of shoes the whole way. Go on Skechers. But yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Colin is just confirming in the chat box that he's already thought of what you were thinking of, Lee.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Cody's just carrying on, and Colin's taken that one down. Yeah, this is interesting. So, so congratulations to Gary. He's MVP winner, and basically Cody needs a top 3 finish to take the team event.
Okay, here we go. It might be right
here we
now.
go. This might be 10-7.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ooh,
Dominated.
he's only got one. Oh, nice.
What?
Nice. Oh, wow.
Wow.
This game's going to go on forever.
He's just doubled up Panagiotis. Yeah, I'm assuming the guys have let Cody know what the situation is here.
I'm sure they did. It was suited.
Shug saying, I can't tell you what I'm thinking. Quite right, Shug. Quite right.
Usually it would have got through most times. Oh, well.
Oh, it's too funny.
So who won the roller then? Who was
so the roller was won by James Locke, yeah.
Okay.
And Cody keeps
Lee,
applying the pressure.
Go on. Confirm I haven't been prompted to ask this question, Lee. But what's your quiz business? Because I'm a bit of a quizzer, so tell us about it.
I love quizzes. Quizzes are good.
So basically, I run a pub quiz business with a friend of mine called Quiz-a-Lot, and we basically just do weekly quizzes in pubs and charity events and corporate events, that type of thing. So last year we did a quiz for an evening with Boise. Who was doing an after dinner thing, so we did a Only Fools and Horses quiz for them.
Yeah.
Right. He lives not far, Hereford way, Erdersland.
Yeah. So he's been doing a kind of a book tour and a kind of thing. Well, I think forever he's been doing a book tour pretty much. Yeah, ever since he stopped doing any acting.
Did you see him in Albania? Did you see
No.
him when he went over to Albania? He went over to Albania. Apparently, he, Only Fools and Horses
was
a bit
mobbed.
like Norman Wisdom.
I'm sure.
He got absolutely mobbed. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow. Yeah. So we do that kind of stuff, and obviously during lockdown we've I've very little to be able to do because of pretty much the income all just fell off the cliff when all the pubs shut. Yeah. But we're just starting to reopen up a little bit. We did a little bit of virtual stuff, but not a huge amount. Actually, our virtual quiz is absolutely awesome. It's just we pretty much don't put it out to the public. We just do it for friends and family
If you
and
could
stuff
PM me
like that.
detail,
So.
because I'd definitely be interested in that. And also, I used to run music quizzes quite a lot, not for some time, but maybe have a chat with you.
We've
about
got
that.
a guy. We've got a guy that does one. He does one quiz a week for us because he's already got a couple of other nights that he does. But he does a Friday night music quiz at the Fisherman's Haunt, just around the corner from us, which is brilliant, awesome. Love a Friday. Friday night's never a quiz night, you see. So and it's always a good one to put a music quiz on. So he's done that for years. He's a teacher actually. But
Right.
really nice guy. So he does a. Yeah, we're always on the lookout for people that want to host quizzes for us, and we provide all the quiz information and details, and then they just rock up and present. So
Well, I
it's a
did.
nice
I
way
did them for
people
about
to earn a bit of extra money.
10 years, and kept all the stuff. Nothing got thrown away. So all the clips and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's all there.
yeah.
We'll have a chat.
It's
We'll have a chat.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You have to be prepared to quiz Tom though in a semi-naked state of dress. That's an important part of quiz a lot.
Trust me, you don't want that. For starters, I got
I think
two
it's quite
massive,
quite
big
popular with
scars on my
the segment of
cheeks.
ladies, I believe.
Yeah, Des only popped onto a live stream once, and he happened to catch what he thought was somebody in a state of undress, but actually they weren't. They were just in shorts. But
They were in shorts, but
Des's
they were wearing like a suit jacket and a proper formal shirt, and sat behind a laptop. And when he got up to have a little break, he's wearing like little shorts, and it looked like he was, half naked. So I signed up right away.
So where is
Well,
this
this
picture
plan
of me
seems
and
to work
Tom?
for Cody because Cody's now got himself into the chip lead. So I'm hoping Shug is staying quite chilled now.
Yeah, Shug's probably had a few words with him on WhatsApp. Can you imagine?
Well, where is
Yeah.
this picture of me and Tom? Was it on the before the?
Do you want me to put it up?
thing
I can
started?
put it up. I can put it up.
Oh, you'd have to wait. Yeah, it'll take 30 seconds to
It'll
appear on
take
the
30
screen. but
seconds.
yeah.
I just put it on Facebook.
I have to say,
I've
I
just
think
been on
you
my
look.
phone the whole time.
I think you look very very beautiful together.
I'm
I
afraid
have
to know
to say.
what picture you used of me. I'm afraid to know.
I found it on the internet. If that helps, Carey.
Oh no! Did you Google me? Did you?
That could mean it. That could
I
mean
was
anything.
straight in.
Yeah.
There's no naughty pictures of me on the internet that I know of.
There is now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Are you okay with that one?
That's from a wedding that I went to last summer.
I thought you both looked very very well. I have to say, mere coincidence.
I'm just trying to think.
Thanks.
That picture.
At least you
the guy
used a
cut
good
out of
one.
That picture.
Yeah, he had to go. He had to go. He had to go.
Did you not know who that was?
Yeah. It was a
a guy.
musician, right? Morrison.
James Morrison.
James Morrison.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Oh, I like James.
Yeah, he lives local. He lives local. Yeah.
He had to go.
cool.
He had to go,
Where do you
Tom.
live?
That's all right.
Tom?
I'm going to tell
Where
him.
do you live? Where do you live, Tom?
Gloucester.
Where do you live? Gloucester. Oh.
Gloucester. Yeah.
So Colin's applying the pressure on Cody and has just won 2 big stacks on the bounce. And
Cody,
Wow.
yeah,
Cody
Here
knows he
goes.
can't finish fifth.
You
Fourth, I
might
mean.
be able to take him out this time. Oh.
and
Oh,
Oh,
this
here we
might
this
be
is
go.
going to
good.
be this is going to
Oh.
this is potential. This is going to be
Oh,
it.
there it is. No diamond. Okay.
Boom.
Why am I
And
cheering
we
on
have an
Cody? Because he's got.
we have
he
an
took my
exit
chip, so
that's
I
not
gotta cheer.
Cody, which means that means we can confirm that Celtic Storm are going to be Poker Squad's winners for game week 20.
Fantastic. Well, well
I really
done to
like their
Shug and the
name.
boys. Which was the team for this week, Lee? So you had Shug, you had Cody, obviously. Frank? Question mark. Kev? Question mark.
No, I think they dropped Frank this week.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'll just
They are
hang on,
very-
just waiting for it to refresh on my
It's a brutal sport.
file.
Yeah.
Well, I don't quite know why, but I think I saw Frank playing. So they
Frank
put Gary.
Bailey, yeah, he
Hugh
played.
Kearney. Hugh.
Yeah,
Kearney,
yeah.
Brian
So you had Gary, Cody,
Wagner.
Brian Frew, and Shug, but for some reason they rested Frank, but he was still playing.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But he had a week of.
Well
a
done,
week of
boys.
not
That
being in
is
the
a
team, so.
magnificent victory once again.
Wow. I like their name.
Yeah.
That's good. Are they all Welsh or Scottish or?
Well, Frank is Irish.
Irish,
Shug
yeah.
is Scottish. Gary and Cody, I'm not sure, Lee.
Cody is Irish American, isn't he?
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so that's definitely that
Cody's represented Ireland, but I think also we were
Nice.
discussing with him at one point to getting in a US team back going again. So so I don't know what his route. I don't quite know what his roots are there. But
look, he'd have to go through the repatriation test, Lee. Does he understand that?
Yeah,
we'd have to shove stuff up his nose.
Was it as long as you hadn't competed on another nationality team, you could compete? So like my husband can
something
only
along those
compete
lines.
on the American team,
Yeah.
even though he's only English.
it's what's known as the McInnes rule. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think Craig's represented pretty much most countries over the years. One point.
Who was that that lovely lady from Liverpool that he had representing Canada? Oh God, I can't think of her name at the moment, which is terrible.
Kath
Gartman, right?
Kath.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember her.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, she represented Canada. I'm not sure what the link was, but we let it go. We let it go.
So Gary
other
Holland says
APAT
he's a
team that I liked.
southern softie. So yeah.
The other APAT team event I really liked was when all of us ladies, Linda Iwaniak's team.
Oh, the APAT
was
team.
fun.
Yeah, an APAT
Yeah,
ladies
yeah.
team. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just at Blackpool a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I was the last lady standing.
Oh, nice.
So Frank is saying
Fun.
Cody is 100% Irish.
100%. We're having him.
100%
I'm not sure there is
American.
100%. Oh, I'm not. I'm not.
We're hearing you,
convinced
Frank.
it's
100%. We're taking
But
that.
Frank is saying 100%. So I'm not going to argue with Frank. So
Well, looking at my family,
You don't know any other Hong Kong players now? I've got to put a Hong Kong team together.
Would love a Hong Kong team.
oh, we'd desperately love a Hong Kong team. Yeah, that'd be great. We had a team from Malaysia played.
Oh, they were so nice, those guys.
Yeah, when we were at Dusk Till Dawn, and they played really nice guys. Actually, yeah, it was boy, but they know how to gamble, don't they? Crikey, wow, that was they had a great weekend. They really just pretty much did. They did not stop for the whole weekend. If they were, if it wasn't playing poker, they were at the roulette tables or at the blackjack tables. It was constant for the whole time. They had a great, thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, I've been to Malaysia a couple of times, and yeah, nice place, great food.
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure.
You've been to a lot of places, actually, haven't you?
I went to Singapore once. Yeah, so I was crikey. I was going to a trade show at the Hong Kong Convention Center, which is where I spent a lot of my time. And I used to always fly with KLM because I was part of their member program, and I used to just get lots of points. So, there were benefits to that. So I would go London to Schiphol. And I remember stopping off in Schiphol, and I was in business class. And the business class was full up. So I ended up missing my flight, and they put me on a flight to Singapore 6 hours later. And they put me in first class, and then I had a business class upgrade between Singapore and Hong Kong. So I wasn't actually going to arrive that much later, which was fine as far as my schedule was concerned. They gave me a bunch of euros or pounds or whatever it was at the time as well. But yeah, it was a very short visit to Singapore, but that was the sort of the furthest south I've been in Asia.
Singapore is lovely. It's really clean. They make lots of laws. So if you litter, you go to jail and that sort of thing. There's no, you spit, you go to jail. Discard a cigarette, that sort of thing. I mean, back in the day, you couldn't have long hair. You couldn't wear shirts with writing on. It was very strict, but it was for a reason, But I've been to Singapore a few times. Played football down there. Again, bloody hot, bloody humid.
God, yeah.
But great city.
No, love it. I love watching the Singapore Grand Prix, which gives you a little insight into the city, and it's as clean and meticulous now as it was. Yeah, it's absolutely superb. Particularly as it runs at night, so it's pretty unique, or it was certainly unique when it was first launched. And of course, that you must have come across a lot of the British traders in your time, Tom, in local bars and stuff like that. I don't know if Leeson made his way up there, but
Nick Leeson, I had a good friend of mine, Guy Ishwood, I played football with, worked for Lloyds Bank.
Yeah.
And he worked with he got transferred to Singapore, and he worked with Leeson in Singapore. Knew him well.
Yeah, I mean that must have been a crazy scene. I mean, those guys were making so much money over there, and working crazy hours. I mean, the additives that they were putting into their body must have been very interesting to keep them going.
It's I think certainly in the case of Leeson, he got into trouble, and to get himself out of trouble, he got a little bit deeper, and it just
snowballed.
Just snowballed. Yeah. Absolutely.
And he took Bearings down. Once upon a time, Bearings was a significant bank.
Indeed. But he did time in jail. I think he's out now, though.
Yeah.
I think he's out, but he did quite.
Yeah, the film that they did, Rogue Trader.
Yeah, I remember watching it. It's pretty interesting.
Ewan McGregor.
And,
and it was his partner play Anna Friel.
Yeah, that's right.
Played his other half in that. I thought that was quite a good. Yeah, it seemed quite a good interpretation of what went on and how quickly things can spiral when you're in those kind of environments.
My friend Guy, he's moved from Lloyds to Chartered. He's going to retire to KL. Bought a place there. I think he's going to retire any day now. So I'm just waiting for the call. I'll give it a couple of months, settle in, and then I'll be, hey Guy, how's the new place? And try and head out there for a free holiday.
That makes sense.
And we're back and play.
Yeah, so 3 left. So what's the situation work-wise for you then, Carey? Now, are you going to be back doing more as lockdown eases, or what's the plan?
I have, since I just graduated, I've just been looking for a job because I haven't worked in a long. Because I didn't go before I did my social work degree. I had gone into a midwifery course, but I decided I didn't want to do that, so that's when I went into social work. But I have a job interview on Thursday, so.
Oh, good luck with that.
Oh, good luck with that.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, because the social workers that I worked with, they were like, all the teams were like swapping, so most of them were working from home. Like the people that would have to go meet with their, like the children or the clients would go out and they'd have to have their PP and stuff. So, but yeah. I think most social workers are working from home part of the week and then working in the office the other part. But I don't know how they're doing it.
Doing virtual, remote meetings or whatever it might be. Yeah,
all of that. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that.
So just to answer Gunter's question in the chat, so championship weekend is going to be next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Fantastic.
$33 buy-in tournaments, all medal events. So, and it basically all it is they're all at 7:00, and it basically replaces the normal 7:00 tournament. So, which are normally $11 buy-ins now. So they're going to be 33. So you've got 4 chances to win a medal next weekend. It's pot limit Omaha on the Friday. It's no limit Hold'em 8 max on the Saturday. The Sunday roller will be the Sunday Roller Championship event. So you've got a chance of satelliting into that for just $3.30. So something a little bit different for people there, as it's a phased tournament. And then on the Monday night, which is normally the pot limit Omaha high-low, so that will be a championship event as well. So 4 championship events, 7:00, $33 in. You'll be able to use the APAT online tokens for that. We will also, if Party can get it all sorted, they've had the request in now since last week, there will be some satellites during the week as well for you to satellite in sort of $550 into a $33 token as well. So, but we've distributed, I think, about 70 of the $33 online tokens as added value from the past few weeks. So they'll all be hitting players' accounts in the next day or two. So next weekend should be a cracker with 4 medal events in a row, Friday to Monday.
Fantastic. And what's our plan, Lee? Are we going to go Sunday night or Monday night or?
We haven't
We haven't really
even talked
chatted
about that yet.
We'll talk about that.
We may well do more than just the Sunday. I know you're desperate to want to commentate on Pot Limit Omaha High Low on a Monday night. I know there's nothing more you'd want to do in the world than
We'll find. Don't worry, we'll find Dan Houston. We'll find Dan.
Where do
the
the
chips? Be fine.
Where do the chips go? Who got the chips? Yeah. So yeah, we'll have a look. But we've got some options. Yeah. Oh, do you know what the thing is? You're spot on. It is such a fun game to play.
Yeah, because it makes you
online,
think like, okay, what can I get? What can I get? What can I get?
Trying to commentate on it online when things are moving as quickly as they do. If it paused for showdown for about 10-15 seconds, we'd be fine. But the trouble is it's obviously over and moved on to the next hand. And we're still trying to work out what's gone on. So. Yeah. So
and you guys can't use a little replayer where you can see the last hand.
No, not when you're kind of live doing the show. So we we learned our lesson early on when we used to do it on a Tuesday night was make sure we always had a guest on that actually knew what they were doing with that game, and then we could leave it to them.
The one trick that we do have, Carey, is that obviously the stream runs 30 seconds behind the live action. So certainly if we're monitoring the stream, which, I'm doing right now, I can see the Party Poker live action. I can see the stream 30 seconds behind. So you could look at the stream and sort of explain it there, but it goes at exactly the same speed. So,
of course,
so, there's no guarantees you'll get it the second time around either.
Yeah. But you've also it's getting your head around all these delays and things. There's there's a guy that's actually streaming tonight, and he streamed last week on the Twitch poker, so twitch.tv/poker. A guy called Shimmy, a friend of Robbie Straczynski's, who's been on this show a couple of times, and he's been playing a couple of the World Series events on GG. And so I tuned in the other day to listen. So he's got it on about 3 minutes or 4 minutes delay.
Yeah, it's like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah. So that obviously, see if you're watching his cards, if you're at his table, you can't do anything about it. But of course, he's really excited about streaming, and what he's doing is he's watching the stream go out as well to make sure that's all working okay. But he's also then talking about the stream. So he'll watch a hand, right? And we're watching that hand when he's talking about the hand. Then he'll see the hand come up on the stream about 4 minutes later and say, "Oh, guys, you're about to watch my Jack's hand," and I'm like,
"It's gone."
And it's like this is like a never-ending thing. It's like, no, but you're talking about something which we saw 4 minutes ago, and I just thought, well, this thing just constantly it's just ongoing, isn't it? Because if he then watches that, it's like, well, hang on, what's going on? I'm talking about myself in 4 minutes, and I don't think he kind of grasps the fact that you can't do that.
We had the reverse of that one night, Lee, and I won't name any names, but we had a guest on who was commentating quite possibly a PLO 8 game for us, and I was looking at the game thinking, this guy is so many levels above me. I just can't see the lines that he's describing. It's just amazing what he's saying here, and it took us about 12 to 15 minutes to figure out that he was actually commentating on what was going on in the goddamn stream. He was commentating on hands that were gone 30 seconds ago. We were all looking at different stuff. I just thought he was way ahead, but actually he was way behind.
It's interesting because watching Jamie stream, he's talking about things that happen when he's reading because it's amazing how he reads through all the comments, but it's like what we wrote on the chat.
He's got amazing stuff. He's got I don't know. I'd love to know how he does it, but he locks in his tables, doesn't he? And goes, right, I'm going to have that one there, and he's got a grid of about 9 tables, and each one of them has got his whole card showing. I don't know what what software he's using or how he's streaming, but it's amazing.
Yeah. All the Party Poker people have those live-hand viewers. I don't know if he said he made.
And I don't know how he does it on his screen, that he locks it in so that he goes, right, okay, I'm going to load that tournament up into slot number 1 and that one into slot number 2. And,
I don't know how he does it either.
It's easy to flick. It's easy to flick between them, but it's incredible.
You can see what hands are coming up on the little squares as well. So it's like, oh, that's funny. And then he'll switch. It is really cool. I do want to stream.
But the really good streamers have got the ability to not only be multi-tabling and concentrating on their poker, but they then have the ability to talk about what they're thinking as they're doing it, and also keep an eye on their chat to make sure, because if they're not answering questions and name checking people in their chat and all this kind of thing on Twitch,
you lose the audience.
They lose the audience very quickly. So you need to engage with them. So the guys that have got the ability to do that and are multitasking, on their setups to allow them to. I mean, I think Des and I have both posted pictures over during lockdown, and the setup we've got going on, just to do something like this is insane. Really to be honest, it's like NASA control. But these guys are doing that for setups. But they're doing that for hours and hours at a time. And if they run deep in anything big on a Sunday or not, whether it's a Lex or a Spraggy or whoever it might be, or Jamie, they can be there sat there doing that for hours, where they've literally get the 5 to the hour break to get some food and to I don't know. I can't organize my evenings this is the problem with a Sunday. Like, so if you want to try and satellite into anything big like the WPT on a Sunday night, you've got to give up a chunk of your Sunday to do that. It's not as Carey, you said today, you've played a lot. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. You've got a plan. And ultimately, a lot of these things are forcing you into the next available satellite if you're trying to work your way up. And they're a 1 in 10, which means if you want to try and qualify for the WPT 3,200 buy-in one, as we're all in a call there, and it's Andres with an ace queen and the flush, and we're going to lose Colin. But if you want to qualify for those, it's a 33 into a 320 and a 320 into a 3. They're both 10 to 1 shots, so you're 100 to 1 shot to make that that flow through and the satellites today. And it's a 7 o'clock start, and it's a 7 o'clock start on a Sunday. So, and you might have had to start at 2 o'clock. So you've already played 4 or 5 hours poker when the big tournament, the one you really want to get into, that you've now won a seat for, starts and is then going to run for about 8 hours.
But you can do all of those during the week as well. All those phases and stuff.
You can, but obviously it's the Saturday and Sunday where they put the real big guarantees on.
Here we go. Look at that.
To do it.
It's a cooler.
Aces versus queens, and that's going to be that.
It's over.
Wow.
And it is over. So Andres Rubinis, and Andres Rubinis from Canada, who's a fairly regular player on squads. I think anyone that's played squads should have come across Andres. So very well done to him. He picks up $117 for his win. Cody Wagner makes it in second place in the end. And Andres has played. That's his 31st squads game. So he's played a number of games over the past 20 weeks. So Cody in second for $82, and the skipper of the A team, Colin McCarthy, finishes in third place.
What a guy!
Well done, Colin.
So kept us in third, I think. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
So let me just run down the final positions for you. So Celtic Storm win the team event for game week 20. Well done to Gary, Cody, Brian, and Shug. Purple Ackies miss out. They finish in second place. And the A team, Carey and Tom's team, finish in third. MVP for the week is Gary Hollands from Celtic Storm. So as they are going to win the team event, it'll go down to second place for the added value, and that will be Dan Austin. He'll get his 1 ticket multiplied up for 2 tickets, which means I've then got 1 spare ticket, which goes down to third place, which is going to be Louis Tabib from Austrian Takeover. So, Louis, you're going to get a little bit of added value coming your way this week.
Boom. What a night.
And there you have it. And there you have it.
There we have it, guys. So congrats to all of our winners tonight and through the week. That is another week in the books. Must say a big thank you to Carey and Tom. It was lovely having you on, guys. 2 hours, 14 minutes just flew by. So absolutely brilliant, guys. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us.
Thanks for hosting us. It's been
Thank you.
really enjoyable.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, with that, I'll just say good night to everyone out there. It's been brilliant having you with us tonight. We look forward to doing this again on the APAT show at some point next weekend. So probably Sunday night, but obviously a big weekend of poker through the week and particularly at the weekend. So with all of those championship events coming.
It's gonna be our 50th show at some point.
Our 50th show.
We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do it at some point, Des.
We're gonna have a disco.
Yeah.
I know that for one thing. I'm gonna be putting my hand up for a 70s disco. That's what I want.
It's gonna be my 50th birthday the next week.
No way. We're sharing a 50th together.
On the 3rd of September.
So the APAT show 50th episode, Carey's 50th birthday. Who knew it? Who knew it? It's all happening together. Okay, guys. Well, on that bombshell, we shall say good night. Have a great week ahead, and we'll speak to you next week, next weekend.
Everyone. Bye, everyone.
Night all. Thanks again.